Here on 92.3 The Fan. Ohio State travels to Michigan this Saturday, looking to snap a 4-game losing streak in the series. Head coach Ryan Day and how his kids, they're looking forward to this one.
The preparation is that's what you love. You love the competitive part of this and everything that comes with it. Our guys, they got a good bounce in their step, and they're looking forward to this week.
Meanwhile, Ohio State's going to enter Saturday's game at Ann Arbor. The number one team in the country, Buckeyes held the top spot in the latest college football playoff rankings. Ohio State is followed by Indiana, Texas A&M, Georgia, and Texas Tech. Michigan comes in at number 15. You can now find 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Get the best content from our shows each and every weekday. That's 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas. Up next time for the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima here on 92.3 The Fan.
Thanksgiving food and The Fan. Catch Thursday's triple header on your home for the NFL in Cleveland. Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan. The Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima.
To keep the job, I need to see a progression in the offense. I need to see a progression in things that he can clearly understand from one week to another. I need to see them open it up more. Now, they have to be able to give him the opportunity. I think they do want to open it up. I'm going to assume if they don't open it up, they don't trust him to do it. And then we can argue whether or not that we believe in the guys in charge, which I think I know I'm going to get my answer from people on that one. But we can say whether or not we believe the guys in charge if they are right to trust or distrust Shedeur with the offense. Because when you're talking about like interceptable balls and things like that, yeah, there were a few against the Las Vegas Raiders. Anybody realistic isn't making him a Super Bowl quality quarterback or a Hall of Famer, a All-Pro based on one performance against the Las Vegas Raiders where, no, you were only 11 of 20 for crying out loud. It wasn't like you had to be Hercules out there, but there's going to be a game like that. How do you keep him comfortable? This is going to be another challenge to the head coach, to the offensive coordinator, to the staff in general. I thought they passed with flying colors on Sunday. Disagree with me all you want. If you disagree, I think that you have a preconceived bias. I think that they passed with flying colors. I think that he did a very good job, and he passed as well with flying colors to say, considering how little practice he did have. And I'd like to see more of the same. But it ain't always going to be as easy as it was against the Las Vegas Raiders.
This is Cleveland Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
God, I sounded like hell yesterday.
You were hanging in there at the event last night.
Thank you.
You were hanging in there. Nice to see your boy,
Axel.
I am so impressed by him.
Him.
I kept talking, and I'm like, he's going to be annoyed. I'm talking to him so much because he's at that age where he doesn't know how to fit in, right? Like that he doesn't know. Me and you were there. He doesn't know anything about me, probably other than there are these clips that go around.
I think this is a lack of someone knowing what 10-year-old boys are like.
Well, I want to hear this.
Okay, so
this is good. This is real good.
I don't know if you coached him big time, like, son, you are going to be there. You are not to be heard or seen. You're just going to stand there. And so I kept coming up to him and go, so what do you got going on this weekend? What about Ohio State, Michigan? You're rooting for Ohio State, right? Like, I'm talking his ear off to try to engage a conversation. And he was just kind of in that, yes, sir. Okay. And I was like,
I didn't know about any of this.
Is he scared of Ken? Because I was like, I just want to get inside his head. I've heard so much about him. I've never had this much FaceTime with him. I was so excited.
What did he say to you?
He didn't know what was going on for Ohio State, Michigan, but he was definitely rooting for Ohio State. And I was like, oh, it's interesting because your dad is...
I'm not a Michigan fan.
Your dad, we've got pictures of him.
Those are fake AI
circulating
pictures.
in a Michigan hat.
Pictures.
Not fake.
They look like Bo Schembechler reincarnate.
You can't print out fake things.
You can't do it. Yeah, you'll get sued. Can't do that.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say the one thing I thought of on the air. Mike, can we do mics off? It's right before holiday. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Am I allowed to say that on the air? No, now that I asked, I can't do it. All right, just go. Just go.
Anyway,
go.
So I was so excited because I can't believe how old he is. I can't believe.
Well, he's 10.
Yeah, but
next year will be 11.
But it's just one of those things where basically, I had a son. His name's Axel, and boom, 10 years old. I finally got to see him.
That's a good point.
A few stops along the way.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But it's crazy because I was looking at him going, Mason's going to be this age.
Yes, he will.
He will be there in 8 years. He will be here. It'll be here in the... Everybody says the same thing. Everybody's like, this is going to happen quick. And I kept thinking, I cannot fathom a world where I will have a son this old.
Owen's kids and my kids, I'm a lot like Owen. I probably fashion myself a lot like Owen as a dad. I don't have girls, so I don't know about that situation.
That's different.
But the boys, I kind of, it's like, Owen was before me, and I picked up a lot off Owen. And I just picked up a lot off my own instinct. I don't carbon copy my father because, you can't beat him now. But I'm very, I'm not, I guess I'm stern. I guess I'm a stern father with him.
He was so polite.
And,
he was so well trained. And I mean, I've heard the lambastings over the phone.
Well, because he stepped out of line a couple times, and it's just not a negotiation. And I've publicly embarrassed him a couple times over stepping out of line, so he knows.
So did he even care that there's Malik Collins there? We were at a great event at Maple Heights yesterday, Milkovich Middle School.
Yeah.
They were giving away a lot of donated food for Thanksgiving. So we were walking stuff out, and Axel was carrying it was funny to see him try to get a grip of the turkey, because it's not easy for him yet.
I'm like, just carry it by the handle, bud. Yeah. They got a handle for it. And he's like holding it on. I go, that's a frozen turkey. Your hands are going to freeze. You made faith in your baguette that here, son. But no, he was...
you want to raise that grip strength for wrestling.
Oh, that's right.
Go give out some frozen turkey.
Oh, yeah. But no, he was... it was a good time. And he knew who Malik Collins was. I hate to say it, because Malik Collins is a defensive tackle. So I'd like point, and he was wearing a hat, so I had to point out who Malik Collins was.
He was unassuming.
Say Malik Collins on it?
It is very unassuming.
He was unassuming, but
then I would know.
David Njoku, when he walks into a room, he's not unassuming. He is he's kind of like a showstopper.
David Njoku, when he's in a room.
Yes.
There is a thing where people go, there's a celebrity in here. I may not know who it is. Let me look over my shoulder. Oh, it's David Njoku.
But that's somebody.
Yeah.
I know that's somebody.
There is a magnetism, I think there is. Like you see, like when Browns guys do a lot of events, they wear their jersey because there's so many of them. There's so many. Like Evan Mobley, 7-foot tall guy, plays for the Cavs. There's only so many Cavs players. A lot of people know who Evan Mobley is. He doesn't need to wear his jersey. Browns players,
and they
got
wear
53 of them on the roster, and they're wearing helmets. You're probably going to wear your jersey.
I did notice Joel still wears his jersey number to his Thursday talk or whatever day he talks to the media.
Well-trained offensive lineman,
Yeah, but because they were all at the food bank yesterday, and like Shedeur Sanders was at the food bank yesterday, and he still wore his jersey because it's like we want to make sure they wear helmets. Sometimes they don't know who, because there was like the one woman goes, Malik Collins is here. I go, he's right there. That's him.
He's right there. He blended right in.
He's right there. He's right, because he's not like David is like a foot taller, it seems, than everybody else.
David's got the hair. It's got the blonde streak in it. Yeah.
Either way, Axel was excited to meet David. He was really excited to meet David. And then I basically Hadoukened him into helping everybody that needed to be helped. I go, you do this. Get out there. Grabbed him by the arm.
Yeah, but when he was told, he did exactly what he was told.
Yes, he's a good boy.
I caught him a couple times just walking with these families. And I'm just like, it kind of looks like a fish out of water, let's be honest.
Just go home. Just go home with him. Just go home with him, and when you guys want to bring him back, you bring him back. That's fine. You bring him back. That's okay. Yeah, he was, he's, every 10-year-old, I think, has some, when they're not with their other 10-year-old buddies. They don't know what they're doing, and he didn't know exactly what to do. And I just went, vroom, you're out there. Go, get out there. You're not going to be shy.
Yeah, Anthony, your comments to start the show remind me of someone who's never been around a 10-year-old boy at all in his life.
No, I have not.
And that's it is awkward, man. The more you spend around, until like the first week that you're with a new team, Ken, right? It's awkward. And then they get to know you and you get to know them, and then it's fine. But
they don't know how to take you. They don't know. Yeah.
Especially if you come from a household where, things are expected of you. You're going to represent our family name a certain way, right? Like, it is very much, I get reports all the time, your boys are the best behaved boys ever. I'm like, really? Because in my house, they're the worst children I've ever met, right? But our standards are all
this was to say the Carmans, from what I saw, they travel well. They travel well.
Oh.
They represented the family, and the family has a checkered past.
Of course. We'll go into that in detail later.
We've talked about
one
that.
Half of the family,
we do
I would
have
say.
2-second trivia today.
I would say half of the family has a checkered past. I mean, I'm sure I could. Wait a minute. Are you talking about that Netflix thing?
No, not that one.
Oh, okay. Did I tell you? So there's a thing on Netflix real quick. And then we're getting to Shedeur Sanders. And we also got to talk about Ohio State and everything like that. Because, they play Michigan on Saturday. There is a Netflix documentary called The Carman Family Deaths. Is that what it is?
Murders,
deaths, something with dying. And it's spelled
ribbing.
It's spelled the exact same way. And I started getting texts. And I saw it on Netflix. I immediately got in front of the joke because I have my passport photo does look like a guy who committed a murder in a Netflix documentary. And I made that joke several years ago. And, well, I was like, oh, boy. I haven't watched it yet. But I got several people, I remember Donnie over at the afternoon show in Pittsburgh was like, Ken, what's this? I go, actually, I can't talk about that. That's my first cousin, and he tried to implicate me in that, and I had to fly out there and do a deposition, and it was a whole thing, so I really can't talk about that.
I love when you text. It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. It was a whole messy ordeal for the family, and, we're not. And then, of course, I think it was my dad's girlfriend said, your dad says there's family out there. So we might be related.
So it's in play.
I'm like, well, it's spelled the same way. There might be some connection there. There's not that many Carmans out there.
Do they look like you?
What do you mean?
Well, not the dead people. You can't tell, but the ones that are still alive.
They said he was Greek, and I'm like, there ain't no Greek on this family.
But you know how people.
My family tree is not very.
Be like, our last name's the same, so they'll run with, my uncle was in Godfather or whatever, they do stuff like that.
He's not here to defend himself, Owen. Come on.
The Carman family had lots of buffers, plenty of buffers. I'll watch it probably over the long weekend, and I'll get back to you on that.
Okay.
I think it's only one episode. It's only 90 minutes.
Knock it out, yeah.
So I can knock it out easy, and that's okay, because it took me months to do the Cowboy documentary.
How many people there yesterday asked you about Shedeur Sanders? I got asked a bunch.
I would say 90% of the people asked me about Shedeur.
They all knew Shedeur. Mm-hmm. They all knew Shedeur Sanders, man.
Yep. He's a phenomenon.
Yes.
I think that it's weird. On Monday, there was very little talk, and I think probably because they were 2-8 teams. Kansas City played for their lives on Sunday, which was one of my favorite games of the year, that game against Indianapolis.
Cowboys-Eagles. That was a big one. Cowboys-Eagles.
Yeah, Cowboys-Eagles was huge. The Cowboys come back in that. But then yesterday, I got this laundry list of audio from national people talking about Shedeur Sanders and filling it in about Shedeur. And I told you we had yesterday, Albert Breer was on Afternoon Drive. We'll play the Albert Breer coming up here in a bit. John Middlecoff, though, 3 and Out with John Middlecoff. He's just one where he mentioned this, and I was kind of taken aback. So there's a lot of review here because now Shedeur is back in the spotlight. He's been named the starter. How long is he going to be starter? Is he be guaranteed starter for the rest of the year? What's it mean for the organization? What's it mean for the organization's future, his future? Well, John Middlecoff mentions this.
You see the video of Stefanski and Shedeur Sanders. Rookie making his first start at quarterback. Pretty easy one to go, give it up for Shedeur. So I'm on board with a little weird. But here's the reality. Guys drafted in the 5th, 6th, 7th round, the head coach might not even like that player. That might be the GM's pick. And clearly Stefanski drafted Dylan Gabriel. Now, I can't blame him for Shedeur Sanders. The rest of the league wasn't touching him either. But clearly he doesn't like him. So I just think this notion of he's not nice. It's in football. He doesn't like him. You're starting now as a 5th round pick. It's all, in front of you. So all these excuses, all these people complaining, it's like he goes makes plays. Everyone will shut up and Stefanski will be fired at the end of the year.
Well, why would Stefanski be fired at the end of the year? I don't think Stefanski doesn't like Shedeur Sanders. And frankly, I don't think it was really Andrew Berry's pick either.
Well, that has been the notion, though. That has been the notion that Stefanski doesn't like him, the way he looks at him, the body language, the way he talks about him. This has all been the stuff that we have played on the radio from outside of Cleveland. This has all been national stuff we've been playing. And we've had callers, too.
Yeah.
We've had callers call in and say it's clear Stefanski doesn't like him. Stefanski likes Gabriel. That's why Gabriel, and him work together. That's why Shedeur was buried 4th on the depth chart.
Because of Gabriel?
That that there seemed to be a relationship.
But
there.
I don't.
Then people brought up the agency and the representation.
Oh, God.
And Orlovsky was brought into the fray.
Well, listen,
Dan Lanning.
I'll only go further than this. This is just how far I'm willing to take it. Is that I don't believe when we had a caller call in and it's like, did you see how Andrew Berry was? And I'm like, you have no basis on that. Now, I don't have much of a basis on things that I can say, can't say. I don't think it was really Andrew Berry's choice to make either. I think that they looked at this and they decided, well, let's just bring in another quarterback. He's the one with the highest ceiling. We're going to go ahead and we're going to bring him in. I think that Kevin is basically not touchy-feely with anybody who's on his football team. I don't think that he is huggy and loves guys. I don't think that this is not Dick Vermeil by any stretch of the means. He is not that guy. And I don't think it's that guy with Shador. I don't think it's that guy with Miles. I don't think that's that guy with David. I mean, David and him have gone around where I think David kind of likes a more emotional coach, and Kevin's just not that guy.
No.
Kevin's just not that guy. So I don't think that Kevin doesn't like him, but I don't understand the thought of, guys, you guys got to get used to this idea. The more games they win, the much less likely it is for them to let go of Kevin Stefanski and or Andrew Berry. We got to understand this from the very beginning of this. They do not want to fire them. They don't want to fire Kevin. Jimmy doesn't want to fire Kevin, and he doesn't want to fire Andrew Berry. He doesn't want to fire either of them.
Agreed.
He does not want to make changes. He wants whatever this is, he wants it to work. So the more games that he plays well in and they win in, it's just going to keep Kevin with the team. So that part of what John Middlecoff is saying, I don't agree with whatsoever. They do not. If they wanted to fire guys, they would have let go of guys after last year.
Oh, they've had opportunities.
3 and 14.
Yeah.
There's been opportunities before. Like, this is the weird thing.
Giants already fired their coach this year with the same record.
Like, you guys got to understand here, you want Shador to do well, and I want Shador to do well. Shador doing well does not mean that Kevin's going to get canned. Shador doing well means that they will win games, maybe some games that they're not supposed to win, and that Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry will stay. We got to, of all the air we have to clear, we have to clear that air right there. 216-474-0092. Ken Carman, Tone Master General, and there ain't nothing wrong with being confident, including Shador Sanders. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima on the Fan.
today. Listen for Earl to Pearl and Nick Padone, Friday from 8 till noon.
And then Anthony Allant and Mac Robinson from noon till 2:30.
As we take you up to the Black Friday matchup between the Bears and Eagles, your home of the NFL and Westwood One in Cleveland. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Coming up at 7:45, 2-second trivia, your chance to win a 4-pack of Mr. Hero combo meals. That's right, a 4-pack.
Can we spot him one question?
No, it's not how that works.
You only get
It's not how this game works.
Well, no, hold on. We give information.
You get 2 questions.
Yeah.
No, don't spot them.
Like, so you don't want me to tell people who the father of American football is?
That's up to them.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute. If you're going to do it, you have to say it in the show.
Yeah.
The father of American football is known as Walter Camp.
I'm doing substantial prep for Yale versus Youngstown State on Saturday.
Not Terrence football?
No, it's not Terrence football. There's also the 1881 block game, which I told you about during the break, that you stared at me like I was speaking a different language to you, and then you couldn't believe I actually got it right.
That there was a riot in the stands.
There was a near riot in the stands. Yale, Princeton, 1881, where neither team moved the ball because sides were 45 minutes a half because they played by rugby rules, and neither team moved the football because they didn't want to turn the ball over. It ended in a 0-0 scoreless tie. The people who paid their hard-earned money to go see it were quite angry. Those people later became Browns fans. Hey-oh!
So that's a Stefanski kind of game. That's why he goes with Dylan Gabriel over Shedeur.
Yes.
We tie it all in.
See? And where did he go to play college? Wait, he played at Penn, right?
Penn, yeah.
Well, there you go.
Well,
Ivy League.
One of the
Part Big
ancient
Four.
8 now allowed in the FCS playoffs. Never before. And they got 2 bids.
It's a new era.
They got 2 bids.
It's a new
Yale and
era.
Harvard.
216-474-0092. So Middlecoff.
Not my grandfather's FCS playoff. Sure.
Middlecoff, John Middlecoff, former NFL scout. And I think he's entertaining. There's things obviously I disagree with, and there's things I agree with a lot on. One of the things I disagree with on is what he said about, firing Kevin Stefanski, the better that Shedeur Sanders does.
You see the video of Stefanski and Shedeur Sanders. Rookie making his first start at quarterback. Pretty easy one to go, give it up for Shedeur. So I'm on board with a little weird. But here's the reality. Guys drafted in the 5th, 6th, 7th round, the head coach might not even like that player. That might be the GM's pick. And clearly Stefanski drafted Dylan Gabriel. Now, I can't blame him for Shedeur Sanders. The rest of the league wasn't touching him either. But clearly he doesn't like him. So I just think this notion of every day, he's not nice. It's in football. He doesn't like him. You're starting now as a 5th round pick. It's all, in front of you. So all these excuses, all these people complaining, it's like he goes makes plays. Everyone will shut up and Stefanski will be fired at the end of the year.
The only way he gets fired at the end of the year is if they don't win games. And I don't think that you are a situation. This team is not bad. Hold on. On defense, this team is really good. On offense, this team is really bad. There you go. If a quarterback plays well with that defense, you're going to win a couple of more games. You might be in too big of a hole. You're 3-8, guys. I'm not talking about playoffs or anything like that. But when you are 3-8 and you do have a couple of teams on the schedule that are winnable games, if your quarterback plays well, you're going to win games. Your defense is too good. So if you win some more games, he's going to stay. If they get to 5 or maybe 6 wins, they probably won't. But if you get to 2 more wins, I think they're going to stay. So I don't understand the correlation between him playing well. It almost seems to be Trent Dilfer to me. You can't lose games and still win in the NFL. Remember Trent Dilfer said that on Edge NFL Matchup or Monday Night Countdown?
A great clip.
You can't win games and then turn right around and get fired. Because the ownership, whether you guys like Stefanski or not, I'm just telling you how it is. The ownership's going to look at this and go, we picked maybe the right guy. Say he does exceedingly well. Say he does so well that you set your draft on fire and you say, no quarterbacks in this draft. No quarterbacks. We're going positional players, BPA. Bring me Caleb Downs. Bring me Arvell Reese or Carnell Tate or Caden Proctor, whoever you want. Maybe you want to do that. If he plays that well, then that means that they're going to look at this and go, we got him ready the right way. He didn't start from week 1. They didn't thrust him into a situation he wasn't ready for. They took care of this situation the right way. He was able to flourish. Shedeur was able to play well. This is the right coach with him. This is the right staff with him. This is the right front office with him. We're keeping everybody. You might not like hearing that a day before Thanksgiving, but that's the truth. That's the truth of this.
I agree with everything.
They don't want to
you
move
said.
on from anybody as of right now, November 26th.
We'll get to the phones here. As a thought exercise, I was thinking on the way in, threading the needle of a way that the quarterback could look good enough to where you wouldn't draft a quarterback with one of your 2 picks in the first round, but also
fire the coach.
And I couldn't come up with it. Like I could, unless they were like so publicly beefing, which is not going to happen, and yet Shedeur was playing well. I could not see that happen.
I heard the clip, and again, that's 3 and out with John Middlecoff.
Maybe like John Elway and Dan Reeves, that kind of happened with them, but that was after he had been to AFC Championship games.
Yeah.
3 of them.
And Dan Reeves still ended up being a good coach. It did not work with.
But they publicly beefed in a big time way.
But you're not going to move on.
He played well, and then they fired the coach. It's hard for me to fathom.
You're not going to move on from that situation because they don't want to move on from that situation. So you can get mad all you want, but that's just the truth of the matter of this. They don't want to do it. And the only thing I can think of is that maybe they don't like the outsiders or the people who are insiders, who are NFL insiders, but outsiders of the Browns. I mean, let's be honest here. Over the last umpteen weeks, they've said things. I mean, Dan Orlovsky basically talking about Kevin Stefanski getting another job with somebody else and winning with somebody else as if it's a threat to Browns fans. It's almost like, well, do you want him to get out of this situation? Is that it's like, well, you can fire him and then he can go get a job with the Giants and go flourish. Like, I don't know what it is, but by winning games, they were a 3-win team and they kept him. So if you win 5, which is still asking for the moon here, if you win 5, they're not going to let go of him for winning 5 games. 216-474-0092. Andrew in Dayton, you're first up on the Fan.
Hey, Kenny. How you doing this morning?
Doing well, Andrew. Go right on ahead, friend.
All right, so you're kind of being flip-floppity here. You're saying that...
Flippity-floppity-boo.
You're saying if Shedeur plays well, then Kevin's not going to get fired. Don't you think it's an indictment on the ineptitude of the coaching staff that they buried him on the depth chart?
To who? To who? The ownership?
No, the coaching staff.
No. Does the ownership feel it's an indictment that they put him forth on the depth chart, that he came in, he was taken care of, he played well, they won football games? I don't think it's going to be an indictment to the ownership, not at all.
Well, I guess in Cleveland, we're the only people okay with punting on an entire season just to evaluate 2 rookie quarterbacks. One we knew was terrible from the beginning, and Gabriel, ever since he played Ohio State, I knew he wasn't NFL worthy. So if we're fine with punting on seasons and having 3 wins, yeah,
I agree with you. I agree. No, I agree with you. I think that when you went from 2 veterans, Andrew, when you went from 2 veterans straight to Dylan Gabriel and then to Shedeur Sanders, I mean that's what they do. I mean, that's still the old guardrails. They've done that before. They did that before at the beginning of this in 16 and 17 and getting ready for 18 and everything else. Like, we've seen this type of behavior before. So, yeah, it is a Cleveland type of scenario. Mm-hmm.
Well, I agree, but what I wanted to say is that I want to argue that Stefanski should be wanting Shedeur not to play well because he can wash his hands clean of this and be like, look, I told you so. So that's all I think.
If he doesn't play well, Andrew, thank you for the call. The only way... Like, if he doesn't play well and you end up 3-14 again, yeah, I'll probably get let go. They need each other. Shedeur needs each other. Shedeur needs his coaching staff, because I thought it was a great game plan on Sunday to get him ready, to get him comfortable, and to get him to grow within this offense and within the NFL. Kevin needs him to keep his job. You may not like each other. I don't think they dislike each other. You may think they dislike each other. They still need each other.
There's no planet where a 5th rounder is starting week 1 in the NFL in a situation like this. That's just not happening. Guys, you can throw out the tracker as fans do about the training camp. That is just not how NFL teams operate. So all 32 teams would have been guilty of the same thing that the Browns did.
I'll tell you this.
He actually is starting earlier than I think in most cases.
The fans who are Shedeur-only fans, not Browns fans, and are dropping in, I'm going to let you guys know how this goes. The ownership does not want to move on from Kevin Stefanski at all. They don't want to move on from Andrew Berry at all either, for that matter. If you are wanting Kevin Stefanski gone, you understand what the NFL, you've used this at the NFL, and I got to admit, I think it's weird too. To a certain degree, some of the conspiracy stuff I think is nuts. But I mean, for the guy to fall to the 5th round, I'm wondering myself, guys. I'm wondering myself. But for him to fall to the 5th round, if you bring in a new general manager and a new head coach after you only win 3 games, these are NFL insiders, coaches. You know, Albert Breer, I said before, I think guys speak through Albert Breer. Some of the stuff that Albert Breer says, yeah, I think that's his opinion. But I think a lot of things, what he said in that podcast with the SI, the Monday Morning Quarterback podcast, I think a lot of that's what a lot of scouts and what a lot of coaches and what a lot of front office guys are telling them. And those are the guys you pick from to be your next head coach and your next general manager. If they get fired, you ain't keeping him. He's going somewhere else. And I don't know if he's going to get that chance somewhere else. This was the best opportunity for him to play as early as he could with the Cleveland Browns. So I don't know if anybody else is going to pick him up. We all need each other here. I need Shedeur to play well. He needs to be in this organization. He needs to play well. And Kevin Stefanski needs him to play well. And he needs his coaching staff to set him up for success. You may not like it. That's the truth. It's been that way the entire segment, and really it's been that way the entire year. I think we're just all now realizing it. 8 o'clock around the AFC North. And for tradition, for the Big Ten, and for you, Ohio State has to win on Saturday. Window Nation and windownation.com.
immediately after the game. The official Cleveland Browns postgame show, only on 92.3 The Fan.
Well, every season is different, and every game is different, and you use your past experiences to do everything you can to put your team in a position to be successful. That's really what it comes down to. And so every year you learn, you grow. This is a different team. This is a different opponent in terms of their personnel. We're going to do everything we can to win this game and focus on that, because what's coming tomorrow or what's coming on Saturday doesn't matter. What matters is right now.
Hell yeah! Ryan Day, head coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes. Doug LeMaurice going to join us, the Bill and Doug Show. Bill and Doug on Ohio State football on Substack coming up at 9 o'clock this morning. We'll go around the FC North at 8. And, at 7 o'clock, you better hold on to your butts. That's all I'm going to say. Better be ready to hold on to your butts at 7 o'clock this morning. Ryan Day, that's him getting ready for Ohio State, Michigan. I will say this. Do you or do you not know if there's going to be Carnell Tate or Jeremiah Smith?
Man, I cannot believe the amount of innuendo, rumors, speculation when it comes to the wide receiver situation with Ohio State, because they're a completely different offense. Obviously, if you take away Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, two guys that I have seen projections. I've seen, absolutely top 10 projections for Carnell Tate. And obviously Jeremiah Smith is not able to come out this year, but if he were, there would be people who would talk about taking him number 1 overall.
It ain't the end-all, be-all. I'll tell you this. It ain't the end-all, be-all. Well, Jeremiah Smith is fantastic, and I think there has to be a real conversation about that, because this is where I get with the quarterback thing. I think we just talk ourselves into being afraid of quarterbacks all the time. That's why I would love for Shedeur Sanders to be great, because then we could just all live in our fears and not take a quarterback. You guys will still have this conversation next year. Like, we'll just wait until 27 to take a quarterback. Will you? Because Jeremiah Smith will be coming out. And if you have the number 1 overall pick, what are you going to do? Because I guarantee plenty of people go, well, it's been another year. Got another look at Julian Sand. Got another look at Lenore Sellard. You'll do that. You will do that. I guarantee it. And then there will be another guy that not a lot of people are excited about, and he'll take off. And why didn't we take that guy? But we'll just continue the vicious cycle. That's why you just have to bite the bullet and make that move. However, let me tell you this with these two guys. If these two guys are out and Julian Sand does a good job, plays well, they go up there, they beat Michigan for the first time in 4 years, that's his Heisman moment. If Fernando Mendoza, and I like Fernando Mendoza, if Fernando Mendoza can go to Penn State, a team that's on its ass in so many ways, can go to Penn State, play a tight football game. You're allowed to play a tight football game against a talented team. I know they're on their ass. You're on the road, 106,000 people. Okay, wait a minute. Michigan's not on their ass. They are a talented team. I know the offense has been a little bit clunky as Bryce Underwood tries to find himself a little bit there. Sharon Moore's been on a little bit of a lukewarm seat to some of the people in Michigan. But if you go up to Michigan and you don't have Jeremiah Smith and you don't have Carnell Tate, then what are we talking about Heisman moments here if we're not going to say that if Julian Sand puts them over and beats Michigan and takes them to the Big Ten championship game, that's not a Heisman moment for Julian Sand. That's the biggest line of Bolsheviks I would ever hear in my life. That's a Heisman game. Saturday is a Heisman moment for Julian Sand if those two guys aren't in. Now, if they are in, then you'd have to put up that many more numbers. You'd have to put that much more of a beat on them.
Big Ten championship.
And then you'd have the Big Ten championship game where it's Mendoza versus Sand. It's head-to-head because the vote isn't put in until after the Big Ten championship game. But if we're looking for Big Ten moments, and some people were upset with Gus Johnson for saying it, I'm not upset with Gus Johnson for saying it because he entertains me.
He's caught in a moment, too.
But there's so many voters who don't pay that close of attention. Those words resonate. Big game, big moment. Penn State's historically a great football team. Indiana isn't. This guy has to raise them over. I think then Julian Sand's situation would make that a Heisman moment against the Michigan Wolverines coming up on Saturday.
Yeah, there's no doubt, because it's been so bizarre. This whole year has been lacking a lot of Heisman moments, and especially Buckeye fans have said it themselves that this whole season, especially everything since Texas, has seemed like a joint practice with all these teams, like a walkthrough. Like they've been emptying out the bench. They barely had big moments in second halves of any of these games. And so you're going to be deprived of those Heisman moments.
Yeah.
You haven't had a chance to see down 7, down 10, which it's like, well, you wouldn't want them to be down, like Indiana was down against Penn State. You wouldn't want those moments. But in the end, those are the moments that Heisman voters do think about. They're not thinking about EPA per play, right? Or CPOE
Some
composite.
of them not enough.
No.
I mean, you're talking about 1,000 people, or whatever it is, 100
to all of
900
these guys
people
out over the next 10 years.
Yeah.
A bunch have been cycled out, but you need so much more. You need we work for somebody. Cycle him out. Get him out. He shouldn't be voting anymore. I'm kidding, of course. I'm joking.
Oh, no, he should get his vote.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say his name. I don't think he likes being talked about like that.
But we do know there's a bunch of
He's
dinosaurs.
sensitive about like 3 things, and I think that's one of them.
We have a bunch of dinosaurs that are voting for the Heisman that just listen to Gus Johnson and go, yeah, that was a Heisman moment.
Well, we got a bunch of dinosaurs. I do agree with you on the principle of things. Now, I will defend, as much as I want to rip the guy who we're close to, I will defend how much he watches college football and pays attention to it. But, like, you have, like, situations where, like, you see the AP poll, and, like, Mizzou is still ranked 18th. Mizzou should not be a top 25 football team. But you will have that by some people who still rank Mizzou to their own rankings. They will still put Mizzou in the top 20, top 25. And they really shouldn't do that, but they're not paying attention to it. And you still have those people that are voting for the Heisman. So when you whittle it down, a lot of it's based on hearsay, a lot of it's based on popularity, and a lot of it is based on moment. And if Julian Sayin goes up to Michigan in the game, a game to punch your ticket to the Big Ten championship game, a game that you haven't won in 4 years, a game that's gotten ugly at the end of the last 4 years, then, and without Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith, it doesn't guarantee him the Heisman Trophy, but I want to hear Heisman moments. I want to hear Heisman moments. If they get that first down, if he does what Kyle McCord wasn't able to do, if he does what Will Howard, who's a beloved Buckeye, wasn't able to do, if you're able to, in those final moments, get that first down, complete that pass, do what needs to be done, and just come out of there, you can win at 26-20. Doesn't have to be an absolute throttling beatdown.
Here's the other
Go
thing.
ahead and win the thing, and then I want to hear about the Heisman moments, because all I'm hearing about is defense, and I've been one of the proponents of their defense, guilty as charged, defense and kind of on autopilot throughout this year.
So the other part of it, that's the Heisman part. The other part of it is, man, if you lose this game, you're not in the Big Ten championship. I don't think, do people realize that? Do people know that that then there'd be, Indiana would be up there, and then you would have these teams tied. Michigan would then have the head-to-head over you.
Yeah.
Last time I checked, we didn't play Oregon, right? So this gets very, very interesting about whether or not you're out of the Big Ten championship, and then the bye is gone, most likely.
Yeah.
I could see you losing the bye, because now all the discussion will be you didn't play anybody since the Texas game, and Texas has 3 losses. So I've been hearing it all year from the SEC. They keep saying that you haven't played anybody, and so.
But they look at top 25, and I go, man, it's again the Mizzou thing with some people voting for him. And I like Eli Drinkwitz, but some of the stuff about the SEC. I mean, that's good PR. Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't mean to bog it down there, but that's some of that. When they say that Ohio State doesn't play anybody, I go, you're really not a whole lot yourselves.
We will go from talking about Ohio State as this all-time machine, which has been great on both sides of the ball, almost as perfect a team as you could get to if they lose to Michigan. And yeah, if those receivers are not healthy or not 100% or don't play, it'll be like, well, what is this team? What is this team? They've again, at the end of the year, they get smashed in the mouth. Now, I know last year they made up for it by going on an unbelievable run, but they had to do it starting out with a campus game against Tennessee. You might have to do that again.
216-474-0092. I want to get back into that with Doug Maurice at 9. We'll probably get back into that later on, even before that. I'm telling you that right now. 2-second trivia at 7:45. Folks, nothing sets off a Friday, a Black Friday, like some Mr. Hero. And you're going to love some Mr. Hero, and you're going to love it even more when you win a 4-pack of combo meals from Mr. Hero. That's going to be mighty tasty for you. But you got to win 2-second trivia. Answer 2 questions within 2 seconds each, and you can eat a free combo. Boy, you can eat a combo, 4 combo packs of Mr. Hero. I mean, that's fantastic. You're going to love the 4-pack of Mr. Hero combo meals. That's at 7:45. But you have to win 2-second trivia. Coming up next. Guys, this is not a troll. I'm dead serious about this. Kevin Stefanski could take back play calling on Monday. I'm going to tell you how coming up at 7:01 on The Fan.
Anthony Lima for Fanatics Sportsbook.
by following the Browns playlist and 92.3 The Fan on the Odyssey app. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Thanksgiving food and the Fan. Catch Thursday's triple header on your home for the NFL in Cleveland. Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
Guys, this is not a troll. I wish you and yours a happy Thanksgiving. I want to say this in all sincerity. Do you want me to look into the camera or look right at you?
Oh, look at the camera.
From the bottom of your heart?
From the bottom of my heart. I am telling you this dead serious. Kevin Stefanski could take over play calling on Monday. You want to know how?
Now, Ken, where are you getting that from?
I'm getting that from Vegas because he might have to take over play calling on Monday because he might have no choice. According to 3 Vegas books out there, take your pick, the leader in the clubhouse, the odds leader for the UCLA job, head coaching job, is a one Tommy Rees. And if you're Tommy Rees, now I don't know what your obligation is. The regular season's another month after this Sunday. I mean, who do they play? Who does UCLA finish up with? Who do we know? We're your home for
Why
UCLA.
would I know that?
UCLA Bruins football.
Did they play USC already?
No, they play USC coming up this Saturday, the 29th. They play at home, on the road at USC at the Memorial Coliseum. They play on Saturday, November 29th, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Be there, be square. And then after that, Tommy Rees is the odds-on leader. If you're Tommy Rees, you're not staying for another month with the Cleveland Browns. I got to go. This is a program that needs. They're on the mat. They need as much help as they possibly can. I think when's your first signing day is in December. Portal opens up in January, if I'm not mistaken. You got to go. You're getting ready to probably play. They're playing in a new stadium. Is that for sure now, SoFi, which is only like 30 minutes away as opposed to an hour and a half away by the traffic that they have out there. I was talking to Carson Schlesinger about that. He goes, it's a long way with traffic. Even with a police escort, it's much.
Yeah, they're bad. Nobody goes to their games now.
And they're playing at SoFi. I don't need to get into that. I mean, you got to go. You got to go if you're Tommy Rees. So if you're him, now that leaves what? Like, you guys got to hope either Jed Fish takes that job or somebody else takes that job, or what's not Nussmeier, for the love of God, the kid. Neuheisel's son. Yeah, you got to hope Neuheisel's son has a crack at that thing. I don't know what Jerry Neuheisel. You got to hope somebody takes it other than him, because I'm serious about this. I like this setup. I like this setup for the Browns, and I like this setup for Shedeur. I think Shedeur and Tommy Rees. Tommy Rees is a guy who's worked with quarterbacks. He's probably working with the young guys. I think there probably is somewhat of a rapport between he and Shedeur Sanders. I think there has to be. I think at the beginning of the year, remember, Kevin's calling the plays at the beginning of the year, so he's got to get going with the veterans, and he's got to get going with the whole Dylan Gabriel thing, whatever that is. And then you got to get ready with another guy. And so you got to give another guy reps. You have Shedeur Sanders. I'm willing to bet that Shedeur Sanders and Tommy Rees have some sort of a connection there.
A rapport.
If Tommy Rees goes, that's it.
Well, so
and then I put Kevin Stefanski back in this position that I'm really not comfortable with anymore.
I don't know. I'll get to that in a second. First of all, I was wondering what ties there were, and I did find the ties that he was born in Los Angeles. He has ties to the UCLA program through his father, Bill, a Bruins assistant from 1979.
His mom was the Bruin mascot. His grandfather played with Jackie Robinson. You guys don't even know. No, I'm kidding. I don't know that part.
But I didn't know that when it came to Tommy.
20 years.
I'm like, what are the ties? Well, apparently there are ties. But the second part of this,
roses.
The second part of this is what would the situation have to be for him to get the Freddie Kitchens nod for the Browns? Because obviously, coaching the Browns would be way superior to coaching UCLA.
The Freddie Kitchens nod.
Yeah.
The what?
The Freddie Kitchens nod.
That he'd be the head coach of the Browns?
Yeah. Go from play caller, next thing you know, you're the head coach of the Browns. Like, crazier things have literally happened.
Take me back through that timeline again. He would stay to be the head coach of the Browns.
Yeah, how would that happen? Because
that
would only happen if things were going well with the offense. But then why would they fire Stefanski?
They wouldn't fire Stefanski, so it wouldn't happen. That's what I mean. Here. It wouldn't happen here. You've already done this before. I mean, people bring it up with Vrabel all the time, and you and I have kind of tried to dispel that as best we could, but whatever. But going back to this, hold on. It's not an open position right now, and I don't think they want it to be an open position. So the better Shedeur does, the better chance that Kevin has to stay.
Well, also,
people want to disagree, and they hate what we're saying all we want, but that's the truth of the matter, no matter what you want to. Guys, I'm just telling you the truth.
What would be the way also, would an offensive coordinator job, because his title right now, Tommy Rees, is
offensive coordinator.
It's offensive coordinator, and he's now the play caller.
Yeah.
Right? So is there a better situation than UCLA head coach that he could get that he would not want that if it was offered to him?
Yeah, Brown's offensive coordinator. I think it's a better job than UCLA head coach. I think that's a tough job. They can sit there and claim all they want. I think it's a very difficult job.
What would that pay?
More than offensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns, depending on. You could always turn right around. I mean, Sunday could be a big day for Tommy Rees. if seriously, they're at home. Think about this. Like, Tommy Rees is not. All right, here it is. If he's the number one guy, I'm doing a lot of thinking on the fly here. If he's the number one guy, and this looks like, hey, after this weekend, they're gonna make him an offer, and he's gonna go. If you're Tommy Rees, I may march right into there. If Shedeur balls out against San Francisco, which is a quality football team, if he balls out against San Francisco,
some hardball with Jimmy Haslam.
I may go right over to Jimmy's suite before they even leave the stadium and go, let's talk turkey here. Let's have a discussion here.
But your buddy
Jerry Jones made a couple of offensive coordinators, highest paid coordinators in the game, more than a lot of head coaches out there.
This is where it gets interesting.
Let's talk turkey over here,
that
sir.
brings up, how would Kevin Stefanski feel about that all of a sudden?
Saw an awful lot of number 12 jerseys over in them stands, getting real excited, doing wrists up after that third touchdown. We just beat the brakes off of San Francisco, and all your buddies in the NFL, for whatever reason, I'm doing Macho Man here. All your buddies in the NFL said that this kid, we didn't have it, and here he has it all of a sudden. I'm just saying. I'm just pointing it out. Boy, UCLA, the weather here is fantastic at UCLA. What's the weather out here? Oh, it's snowing out here? And you're not going to build that dome for another 5 years? Okay, well.
They're going to give me a membership at that Westwood instead of this Westwood. It would be pretty interesting. So,
if you're Tommy Rees, your agent has to make that call going, you sure you want to let him go to UCLA? Mm-hmm. I'm just pointing it out. You wouldn't want to get. What are you looking at me like that for? You think it's a good idea, don't you? What?
I didn't even think this is where it was going when we started.
Well, here
now
it
we're
is.
here, and I'm a little shocked that you're correct on this.
Thank you. Thank you. I've gone off on some harebrained schemes before during this year.
Well, so this
is the truth of the matter.
That brings me to my next question, because I was going to get there, and then we started with all the permutations. So, how good of a job is Tommy Rees really doing?
I think he did a great job on Sunday.
Okay.
It's been 2 games, right?
But I don't think it's, honestly.
Guys, they lost to the freaking Jets. I don't care what anybody says. They lost to the Jets. They're one of the worst teams in the NFL.
I don't think the offense has looked night and day.
It hasn't looked night and day, but it looked palatable on Sunday, did it not? The guy made a couple of big plays. They didn't really drive down the field.
You guys have not played the audio from all the people around the country who think that they get no credit because it was the Las Vegas Raiders who are one of the worst teams in the NFL. And you got the ball spot.
You got great field position the entire game.
Here's
had nothing
John
to do with the
Gruden
offense.
on this whole thing.
John Gruden. Brakes on that a little bit. The throw we keep watching was against an all-out blitz. The Browns don't even pick up the blitz. It's a horrible blitz by the Raiders because they don't contain a right-handed quarterback. They let him out to his right. He made a great throw. But I'm not going to jump off the table yet because he threw a bubble screen for a 70-yard touchdown against the worst entry I've ever seen on defense. They relied on the Wildcat. They relied on their defense to win that game yesterday. And you're right, that was as bad a Raider performance on offense as I've ever seen. But Shedeur did get the win, but I don't think those other 17 or 18 quarterbacks that lost faced a team that played that poorly.
Hey, hey, I'm not going to disagree with John Gruden. The Las Vegas Raiders are a diaper genie of a football team. But you lost to the Jets. Had you not lost to the Jets and you just took care of your business and beat the Jets, I would actually take some of it away. You aren't good. You are a hapless offense. So when you have an offensive coordinator, take care of a young quarterback and he don't look like garbage when he ain't had any reps beforehand, when he ain't had a bit of practice beforehand, I'm going to give you credit. It's not Tommy Rees' fault that they decided to try to do Ravens things in Las Vegas when they ain't got Ravens players. It's not his fault. I'm going to give him that credit. Now, they could go out on Sunday against San Francisco and look like garbage, and Jimmy Haslam would laugh in his face and go, yeah, goodbye, go to Westwood. We'll see you later, John Wooden. Go right on ahead. You can do that.
They deserved credit. All I'm saying is I haven't seen this completely different offense. Maybe if you want to say the wrinkle with the Wildcats.
Because it's not.
But did Stefanski have no say in that? Didn't they work together? They did it in Miami.
It's not, because there's only so much you can do. That's the whole point of what I'm trying to say here over the last few weeks with people. There's only so much you can do with the talent you had. You guys, I had to dump callers over Jerry Jeudy a couple of days ago. That's still your number one. He's not a guy that can dangle a watch between Jerry Jeudy's eyes and turn him all of a sudden into the premier wide receiver in the league. That's Jerry Jeudy, not Jamar Chase. That's still a rookie Harold Fannin. That's not veteran George Kittle. Like, these are still guys, they're either too young or they're not good, or they're good but you can't find them. There's so much that's missing on the offense. He can only do so much. That's why I'm like, hey, he should get credit. I don't care. Vegas is bad. He took care of his quarterback. He did a good job on Sunday. Tommy Rees did. So that's why you would consider him for a position like UCLA. And that's why if you're the Browns going, hey, well, wait a minute here. Let's talk about your situation with us. UCLA isn't necessarily, that's UCLA, not USC. Let's talk for a minute. I mean, Keith texted us, Deshaun Foster's making $3 million a year. I can pay you. Let's give you $2 million. Now I'm spending Jimmy's money. I'll give you $2 million a year to stay here in Cleveland. How much further $2 million goes in Cleveland than $3 million in Los Angeles?
I just wonder how Stefanski would feel about that.
As far as what?
All of a sudden, his offensive coordinator is gaining power within the organization behind the scenes.
How has he felt the last 6 years while other people have got power over him? How would he feel as a head coach of a team that's winning football games and still everybody elsewhere around the league loves him? I'd feel just fine. You're telling me the quarterback that we waited to start actually looks good?
I'll tell you that
maybe we look better. We all agreed on this. That guy looks good. We just beat San Francisco. I'm 4-8. It's not a complete dumpster fire anymore, even though 4-8 still don't look great. 4-8, we're not a complete dumpster fire anymore. I'm supposed to look bad. I'm supposed to be mad over that? Nah, Kevin ain't going to be mad over that.
I'm just saying that money stuff sometimes does play a bigger role than a lot of people understand. Around the NFL. You'll hear stories down the road
I understand
like,
that.
He was making that much under me, and I had to get to this point.
I understand that, but I would feel
Kevin
different.
Was not Kevin was not close to one of the higher paid. I know he got an extension. He was not close to one of the higher paid head coaches in the league.
2-second trivia, 7:45. Your chance to eat some 4-packs of Mr. Hero combo meals. We'll get to you guys on this next on The Fan.
Anthony Lima 4. Van Scoy here as we're turning the page into 2026. How do you want to look? Do you want to look like maybe it was 1996 or 2006? Wouldn't that be amazing? Well, Van Scoy has been able to do that with so many people here in
to the top spot in the latest college football playoff rankings. Ohio State's followed by Indiana, Texas A&M, Georgia, and Texas Tech. Michigan comes to the contest ranked number 15. Can now find 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and get the best content from our shows each and every weekday. That's 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
You're going to want a 4-pack of Mystery Hero combo meals coming up at 7:45. It's 2-second trivia. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Usually I do the it's time. I can't do it.
You don't have to jazz it all up.
I lost my voice on Monday.
People will understand. You need your voice for your family.
What's going on?
Come on.
Right. If you don't scream at those boys, who will? And it's a long weekend.
No one will.
You can't let them get away with just enjoying their childhood.
No. It's going to be mental warfare time then. If I can't speak, that means the games come out and nobody's as sick as me in my house. I did use that as a threat one time. I was like, I was way darker at your age than you could ever imagine. Don't even mess. It was crazy. I was like, boy, you sound like a complete psycho. But I am. Coming up at 8 o'clock, we'll go around the AFC North. I think it's easy, by the way. How did our rivals think about how Shedeur played? What did they think of Shedeur's play on Sunday against the Raiders? What did our rivals think? Bob Haney, Baltimore, Mo Egger in Cincinnati, Chris Muller, 93.7 The Fan in Pittsburgh. They'll join us. Obviously, we have questions to ask about their teams as well. 216-474-0092. So I'm serious about this, and it is going to come off as a troll if you're just listening. When I tell you that Kevin Stefanski could take over play calling on Monday. And your thought is, what type of stupid radio bit is this? No, Tommy Rees, according to 3 Vegas books, is the leader in the clubhouse for the job at UCLA. If he's the leader for the job at UCLA, you got to hit the ground running. That means you're gone on Monday. You're gone. Their season ends on Saturday. You're out of here on Monday. Introductory press conference time. Hit the ground recruiting time, getting your NILs ready, getting all the board of regents ready, or whatever the hell they have over there, and you're gone. And that means that you still have another month left in the season. You have 5 games after that with the Cleveland Browns. That means Kevin's going to take back over play calling. And depending on how Sunday goes, you may just not care. Because if they go out there and they get boat raced and Shedeur doesn't look good, well then, yeah, I think there's some people who are waiting for the other shoe to drop, and we'll talk about that on Monday. But if they go out there and they look good, I think a lot of people are going to really care. Because I think right now, I think that this season is too far gone. You're 3-8. It's unrealistic for you to make the playoffs. If I'm going to look at Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals and kind of side-eye going, okay, you're only coming back from a leadership perspective. I don't think you're coming back from a playoff perspective. Then I certainly have to think the same thing about the Cleveland Browns. So if this season is too far gone, I think a lot of people will take it as if you're disappointed if they lose, especially if the defense doesn't play well. The defense plays so well that it's been frustrating so far. But if you got good quarterback play, I don't think a lot of people would care as much. It would change the way we think about the draft. It would change the way we think about the future. I think we're about to do some flip-flop and some mental gymnastics here over the next month and a half of the season if the quarterback were to play well, and even if you didn't win football games. Now, I think that your defense is so good that if your quarterback does play well, a couple of these games that are scheduled losses for a lot of us, including for a lot of us, San Francisco, I don't know what the line is for that on Sunday. I think a lot of these quote-unquote scheduled losses, I think they turned into wins. I think that Tennessee, you end up a little tougher than what you'd like to be. Chicago's tougher now. Buffalo's still a tough out. I know that they're kind of on hard times defensively, but that might be a conversation to have about Shedeur. Pittsburgh's kind of up in the air right now in so many ways, but you still got some good teams that are on this schedule to come up. You're still going to turn some of these into wins, and if you turn some of these into wins, that means Kevin stays, and your quarterback has to play at a high level to do so. So I know a lot of people are excited that Shedeur had some really fine moments on Sunday, and they don't like Kevin Stefanski. You don't like any of this news that I'm telling you. It's not fun news, but it's the truth.
That way, you're 5.5-point dogs at home.
Okay, 216-474-0092. So if it comes to this on Sunday, after this game against San Francisco, I'll tell you right now, if he plays that well on Sunday, Tommy Rees would eventually get a head coaching job somewhere at some point. But I have to talk to Tommy Rees if I'm the Browns and go, wait a minute, are you sure you want to do this? Because I would be going, what have they been historically? You're in the Big Ten. Are you taking the check just to take the losses? What is he, 33 or 34 years old? You're still a young Tommy. You're still a young guy. You do well with the Cleveland Browns as the offensive coordinator of this football. This is all based on if they do well on Sunday, guys. This is all based on that. You're still a young guy. You're going to have much better job offers than UCLA if you stay in the NFL as an offensive coordinator and this offense continues to go well. You might have much better NFL jobs that are offered to you in that case. And if you're Tommy Rees, you're not listening to this, but if you're Tommy Rees or Tommy Rees' agent, you are loving what you're hearing right now because you would love to do that. If Shedeur goes out there and looks good, say what you want to about Vegas. They're terrible. They are. But you already lost to the Jets before, so your bar isn't that high. So I give you credit for beating the Raiders. Not a lot of people outside John Gruden doesn't even want to give you a lot of credit for beating the Raiders. I'll say this. I give you credit for beating the Raiders because you're not good. But if we go forward here and you beat a good football team, San Francisco's well coached, they're a quality team, I don't care about the injuries, you beat them, we got to have different conversations about this team and about this quarterback and about this head coach and this offensive coordinator. 216-474-0092. Mike and Shaker Heights, you're first up on the Fan.
Ken, man, you really just made my mouth drop thinking we had to go back to Stefanski.
But I told you the truth. I told you the truth.
Yeah.
I'm not trolling you. That's the truth of the matter here, Mike.
You cannot let Stefanski go back to calling plays. We would go back to an unbalanced run scheme. We'd be throwing 35 times, running 12 times. It's just don't do that to me, Ken. I was really glad Shedeur got a shot. Yes, although it was against the Raiders, who are terrible. But let's just keep this thing going. Like you said, Tommy Rees, do you really want to go to UCLA? So let's stop that before. Don't even get us any more traction. For the love of God, I was trying to enjoy Thanksgiving.
I'm sorry.
Now I'm worried about losing Tony Rees again.
Wait, first of all, you didn't even get his name right?
Yeah, you gotta get his name right.
It's Tommy. That's how much you don't like Kevin. It could be Tommy Rees, Tony Rees.
You think he's made that much of a difference?
It don't matter.
I guess I just have not noticed the Browns' offense. Like the Buffalo Bills, when they fired Ken Dorsey a few years ago, their offense took off. It completely changed. They talked about it the entire playoffs. Like this is why the Bills look different. This is why Josh Allen looks different. I haven't really seen that with the Browns offense. They still look pretty, they still by all the advanced numbers, the offense was pretty dreadful against the Raiders.
Here's why the indictment on Stefanski is how decent Shedeur looked. When we got DTLR, he went out there and looked terrible with a week of preparation under Stefanski. So this guy, although he looked like a rookie, it wasn't that bad of a game like when Stefanski has had rookies in their first game.
And they had 8 first downs that were not aided by penalties. They had 10 3 and outs. Like did I watch a different game this weekend than everybody else? Apparently I did.
Anthony, the bar is not high.
No, I know.
This is, I think Mike can admit, this is an admittedly extremely low bar, like a pick your foot up and walk over.
And I'm saying, Shedeur,
this is a speed bump
I want
bar.
Shedeur over Dylan Gabriel. I've been pretty adamant about that.
I understand that, and so do I.
That wasn't to dig
I think
Shedeur.
Mike
He
and
looked
Shaker agrees.
He looked like a rookie. Then that's fine. He's going to make rookie mistakes. It was very disjointed though. Like the second half, that third quarter,
Mike,
can
I say something?
Anything on offense.
Can I say something and see whether or not you just agree or disagree? Okay.
Okay.
I think your fear is based on you have a guy who had to have worked with Shedeur before. Had to have worked with Shedeur at the beginning of this year because you have a head coach that was calling plays at the time who had to get ready for either the starting quarterback and then the primary backup, whether that had been Joe Flacco and then Kenny Pickett or Pickett and then Flacco, and then it would have been Dylan Gabriel. So there's got to be some sort of rapport that the two have with Tommy Rees and Shedeur Sanders. I don't think that I have to agree somewhat with Tone over there. He didn't just turn these guys magically into the greatest show on turf. But if you have a young quarterback, I think we care much more about the maturation of the young quarterback than we do about the actual results of the team. And so anything that we see that we could look at as trust in a really distrusting time when a team loses, I think we're going to cling on to that, Mike.
One thing is this. Stefanski, it was no reason Gabriel had the leash that he had. He was not head and shoulders better than Shedeur based on what we saw on the field. So how can we trust Stefanski to put us in the best position to win when he led us to believe Dylan Gabriel was such this cerebral play breakdowner and was so great? Because he wasn't.
The only thing I can say to that, because I agree with you, Mike, and thank you very much for the call. The only thing I can say to that is if Shedeur were to go out there and struggle so mightily coming up on Sunday, then Kevin could turn right around and go, that's why we were playing Dylan Gabriel, and that's why we were playing him so long.
I mean, the leash was 5 games. Is that many games to start in the NFL?
I thought it was 6 games.
Like, didn't we?
Wasn't it 6? Was it 5 or 6? Hold on.
Didn't we always say, like, Shador's going to get his chance?
6 games.
Shador's going to get his opportunity, and now he is. I don't think that.
But
in the NFL,
I think you're looking at it. I mean, you had one bearable game out of the 6? I guess 2. Miami, you didn't have to do anything against Miami.
But we said
you just said that against the Vegas Raiders.
We said if they would have lost the Miami game, we think they could have pulled the plug. But they won the Miami game. You're not going to change the quarterback,
of course,
at that point. And then it was trending very poorly after that. Obviously, the Ravens game, he was getting roughed up, and I don't think anybody who would have played quarterback in that game, it would have been good.
That's fine, but Shador also played quarterback in that game, and it didn't look very good.
Very bad. Yeah.
But I think what they're saying is, Dylan Gabriel is an unbearable spot. Now, I will say this, that you could turn right, because a lot of this is we're drawing conclusions to something that we don't know the answer to yet. So if he goes out there and he plays poorly, let's go with this. We all want Shador to do well. If he goes out there and he plays poorly on Sunday against San Francisco, like just looks bad too, and they're not just good, but he looks bad doing it, then I think that you look at Kevin, you go, Kevin might have given a reason why he was playing Dylan Gabriel that long, but then I would also say you played Dylan Gabriel too early because you probably had to deal with a trade that you probably didn't want to make in Joe Flacco, and then even before that, Kenny Pickett. Like, those things come back into play here. But if Shador keeps going, these calls are going to continue. If Shador goes out there and plays well, I will say that beforehand, at the beginning of this year, I thought that they were going to take a quarterback number 2 overall. They didn't take a quarterback number 2 overall, and I thought when they were, I still didn't want that guy to be starting week 1. So I was still in the camp, whether it be Shador, whether it be anybody else, I didn't want that guy to start week 1 for the Cleveland Browns, and I wouldn't have started Shador had they even taken him number 2 overall. Now, that would have been a terrible fight to have. We didn't have to have it.
Yes, it would have been a battle.
It would have been a battle.
I just the one thing I have to push back, like,
fine,
the fans saying that Shador should have been starting from week 1 based on what we've seen so far. No.
I agree with you.
No, that wouldn't have gone well for anybody. And I know this didn't go well for us as is. But that would have been the surest way to make sure Shador's career was cut short.
He's the guy that I have the most hope in for. I did not have hope in Dylan Gabriel, not even to be mean-spirited. I have the most hope and the highest ceiling with Shador Sanders, and that's why I'm liking the situation right now, because it took time. He did get a chance to go in there and see it. Then he saw what it was like to run around with your chicken with your head cut off, and then I think there was even more trust with Tommy Rees and his coaching staff when he went into the game against the Las Vegas Raiders. Because, all right, you've seen what it's like to actually be left out there on an island, and it ain't fun. Let's look at what it's like with a week of practice, preparation, looking after all this. That's where I think that plays into that. So, again, going out on Sunday, you're going to have bad days at the office. This is just going to happen at times. So he's going to have a couple of clunkers. But I think this builds trust, and I don't want to just lose Tommy Rees to the UCLA Bruins, especially if Shador goes out and plays well on Sunday against San Francisco. Let me get one more real quick. Chuck in Cleveland, you're next up on the Fan.
Hey, good morning, guys. How we doing, man?
You got to go quick, Chuck. Go ahead, Brett. We're doing well. Go ahead.
What I want to do, I wouldn't mind having Stefanski back at play caller, because now we've seen a game out of Shador. Listen, if anybody could say this man's job, that's probably the only way it's going to happen. So if we go out there and have a good game plan and Shador looking good and we get the W, that's more reason that guys should be saying, hey, maybe he is good at what he do. It's just one thing I want to say he's not good at, and it's holding guys accountable. My take is if Sunday Jerry Jeudy goes out there with any shenanigans, he needs to get benched because we got a good draft class, good culture, guys playing hard, and he can start setting examples, holding guys accountable.
Well, see, the thing that I would be more upset about it, Chuck, thank you for the call. I'd be more upset about what happened in the first half with the 3rd and 16, and Nathan was critical of him saying that he didn't finish the route. That's what I'd be more concerned with. If he's out there and he's walking around, jogging around, doesn't look like he's giving that type of effort, then yeah, I'd be willing to do it. The fumble, I think that he was trying to make a play on the fumble, and I've had a lot of pushback on that. And it's upsetting to see a guy who's supposed to be your number 1 wide receiver fumble the ball. But I'd be much more upset if he was given slack-ass effort, because you got to try to fight for every single possible yard that you can get. I'm much more upset if he were walking around during routes than he is fumbling the ball trying to get for extra yards. Coming up at 8 o'clock, we go around the AFC North. Up next, it's time for 2-second trivia. 216-474-0092. You can eat a 4-pack of Mr. Hero combo meals. Now, it might not all be at one time. I would hope it's not all one time, unless, you might be a big eater, man.
Listen, Roman burger on top of Roman burger on top of Roman burger.
Stacked Roman burgers. Stacked Roman burgers, man. Those 4 of them, that could be fantastic. But you have to win 2-second trivia. And to win 2-second trivia, you have to answer 2 questions within 2 seconds each. And I hope you've been listening to the show, because the listeners of the show, the ones that know the history, the ones that have heard what we've said even in recent weeks, those have the best chance. 216-474-0092. Win a 4-pack of Mr. Hero combo meals when you play 2-second trivia. Next on The Fan, KC Roofing. When
92.3 The Fan.
92.3 The Fan has the most local sports talk in town, and you can be a part of it anytime you want. Weigh in on X at 92.3 The Fan and see our hosts make your reaction a part of our shows. Powered by Scheiben Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. Whenever you need to talk about the Browns, we got you covered. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan. You have 2 seconds, and only 2 seconds to win. This is 2-second trivia.
It is time for 2-second trivia and your chance to win a 4-pack of Mr. Hero Combo Meals. Mr. Hero introduces their new chicken tender wraps to the menu, rolled in cinnamon sugar, served with a caramel dipping sauce.
That can be right.
Tossed in your choice of 6 different sauces, including hot honey, buffalo with rain. You got to look that up here.
Dumb.
That don't sound right at all.
I'm done laughing.
What the hell?
Roll that cinnamon sugar chicken in the buffalo.
Look at this, man. I don't know. Hold on. Here we go.
Anywho.
Tossed in your choice of 6 different sauces, including hot honey, buffalo with ranch, Kentucky bourbon, chicken, garlic parmesan, barbecue, and teriyaki. Get any flavor wrap for only $6.49. Order in-store online through the Mr. Hero app. It's time for 2-second trivia, and the first one's up is Ken in Amherst, home of the Comets. Hello, Ken.
Yeah. It's dead.
It's who?
It's dead.
Dead.
Oh.
Ted?
Yes.
Like Ted Nugent?
Teddy!
Yes, sir.
Like Teddy Ruxpin. All right, Ted, here we go. Are you ready for 2-second trivia?
Theodore.
Yes, sir.
Lima, take it away.
All right, this one surprised me, but which NFL team has the best point differential in all of football?
Philadelphia.
Wrong. Sorry, Ted. Jim in Medina, home of the Highland Hornets. Jim, good morning.
Morning, guys.
Lima, take it away.
Can you name the 3 Big Ten teams currently in the playoff?
Ohio State. Penn State.
Wait a minute.
I was going to let him finish. But
That's not how it works. It's 2 seconds.
Why would you name 3 in 2 seconds?
But it doesn't
That's
matter.
a terrible
the
question.
The second one was not one of the teams
Hey, give
currently
me
in
the
the
preamble to the United States Constitution.
You got 2 seconds.
Rutgers, Maryland.
The Declaration of Independence, I beg your pardon. 2-second trivia. Name the 13 original colonies. You got 2 seconds to go. God, Gabe and Ashtabule. Well, now it's just devolving. Hello, Gabe. Good morning.
I got one.
Good morning. Just want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's not what this is about.
This isn't what this is about.
Especially.
No.
Especially.
No. Don't do it.
No.
Don't do it. I'm going to hang up on you.
I do have a question for him.
Don't do it. Are you going to play it or not?
Let's do it.
All right.
Lima, take it away.
Who is the father of American football, as heard earlier in the show?
Oh, that's Nick Fuentes.
It's actually not. Second time I've heard somebody guess that.
Peter in Brunswick, home of the Blue Devils.
Yes.
Good morning.
Let's go. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you too, Peter. Lima, take it away.
Tulane is the 12th seed right now in a college football playoff, as revealed last night. What is their nickname?
Oh, the Green Wave.
Yes!
Ladies and gentlemen, Peter is in the barn.
In
Peter.
the barn.
All right, Peter, you ready?
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Lima, on a Turkey Day edition.
This could be it.
Take it away.
How many national championships has Youngstown State won?
3.
Damn it. So close yet so very far. Matt in the car, home of the extended warranty. Matt, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah. It's only next warranty.
Lima, take it away.
Which school just hired James Franklin to be their head football coach?
Virginia Tech.
Yes! got
it in. He got it in. Owen says yes. Congratulations, you are in the barn. Matt, are you ready for your chance to win?
Ready as I'm going to be.
Lima, it's a Turkey Day edition. Take it away.
Yesterday, Ken did a pair of unboxings thanks to 2 local high school football programs. Can you name one of them?
Massillon Perry.
No.
Oh, good guess.
No.
They sent you anything?
I got a ton of stuff
from the
Perry.
Wakefield collection?
Ken wouldn't give it to you anyway. You said Maslin in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
He'll
but
have
that's
a
how
little hissy fit about
No, that's
it.
okay. That's how he knows, because then we'd go, which Perry? And then that'd be a whole thing. So I understand where you're coming from there, and usually I would, but
No, you lied.
not during this.
Before.
Not during this.
Cried about it.
Donnie in Strongsville, home of the Mustangs. Donnie, good morning.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Doing wonderful. Don't try to butter us up. Lima, take it away.
All right, let's see if you've been paying attention. What is the single season sack record in the NFL?
22 and a half.
In stereo.
How many people are playing there?
How many people are playing with you,
listen.
Donnie? Are you alone?
I'm alone.
Doesn't sound like
Prove it.
All right, here we go, Donnie.
FaceTime us right now.
You ready for your chance to win 2-second trivia?
Go.
Lima, take it away.
Ooh, as heard earlier in the show, what is the oldest continuous rivalry in college football?
Ohio State, Michigan.
Wrong.
No, that's
Very
because
wrong.
Michigan dodged us one year.
You're the guy who says if you're doing a game during the Ohio State-Michigan game, then the game doesn't count.
That's true. And if I'm doing the game with a Michigan national champion, certainly doesn't count.
Troy in Cleveland, home of the Glenville Tarmblooders. Troy, good morning.
How you doing? Good morning.
Doing wonderful, Troy. I know you're ready. Lima, take it away.
Let's go, Troy. Who is the odds-on favorite, as heard earlier in the show, to get the UCLA football job?
Bill Belichick.
Oh, my God.
Thanks for listening.
Boy, what
He
if he,
probably just got in the car at 7:52.
40 minutes.
what if
talking.
he edges him out? What if Jordan
Oh, that's
Hudson
true.
is the negotiator?
According to her future daughter-in-law, I wouldn't do that. You see that New York
did.
Post story?
I did.
45 minutes?
I'm sure.
45 minutes?
I'm sure that'll be another 3-hour Pablo Torre expose.
Kevin and Lyndhurst, home of the Brush Yarks. Kevin, are you ready?
Yes, and it's Evan, not Kevin.
Oh, for
Not
the love
anymore,
of
it's
God.
not.
Matt, clean out your friggin' ears. Let's go. Tone.
Let's go, Mike Corrali.
Take it away.
Who has the longest win streak in the NBA this year at 13?
Oh, I don't even know, man.
We are going rapid fire. George and Elyria, home of the Pioneers. Lima, take it away.
Who is the leading scorer in the NBA right now at 35 a game?
Steve Cunningham.
Take the most shots.
Tom and Akron, home of the Buchtel Griffins. Tom, you're ready. Lima, take it away.
Cavs are in second place in their division. Can you name their division?
The Central Division.
Yes! Yes!
Wow,
Yes!
wow.
Here we go.
In the barn. Here we go. Lima, take it away.
Name one of the 2 players who are tied for the all-time sack lead in NFL history with 22 and a half.
Oh, Eric and Kurt.
Come on. Brian in Brunswick, home of the Blue Devils. Brian, you're ready. Lima, take it away.
Who's the wide receiver who caught the 52-yard pass from Shedeur Sanders in the first quarter of the Browns game in Vegas? All right, moving on.
Gene in Cleveland, home of the East Tech Scarabs. Gene, Lima, take it away.
What is the name of the formation in which Browns running back Quinshawn Judkins scored a pair of touchdowns in that win?
Wildcat.
Yes!
All right, here we go. Gene is in the barn. Lima for his chance to win. Take it away.
Who's played the most games this year for the Cleveland Cavaliers with 18?
Donovan.
Are you serious? Oh, I was wrong.
Load management.
Anthony in Maple Heights, home of the Mustangs. Anthony's ready. Lima, take it away.
Name one NFL team with a worse record than the 3-8 Browns.
Titans.
Got it.
He's in the barn. Last chance. Here we go. Hail Mary time.
Here we go.
Lima, take it away.
Which Mid-American Conference team has more wins this year, Akron or Kent State?
Akron.
Got it.
We do?
Yeah.
You have more wins than Kent State.
You have one more win.
Way to be a fan.
I thought Kent had 5 wins.
No.
Oh, Anthony, congratulations. You won.
Take it away.
Congratulations, Anthony. You win a 4-pack of Mr. Hero combo meals. I'm not sure if the chicken tender wraps are rolled in cinnamon sugar and served with a caramel dipping sauce, but maybe you can get them that way when you go to your nearest Mr. Hero. Anthony, congratulations. I'm going to put you on hold.
Akron has 5 wins. Kent State has 4.
5 and 7. I knew we were 5 and 7. I thought Kent State had 5 wins.
They're doing 5 is more than 4 now.
Yeah.
That's a big thing the kids are saying.
But Kent State is at Northern Illinois coming up later this week, Friday,
record.
Black Friday.
Same record.
And Northern
Same
Illinois
record.
is in a world of hurt right now.
Yeah, it's tough. He beat Notre Dame. That'll get you a little bit of time, but not all the time in the world. That is 2-second trivia. Up next, we go around the AFC North. Bob Henny, 105.7 The Fan in Baltimore. Mo Egger, ESPN 1530 in Cincinnati. Chris Muller, 93.7 The Fan in Pittsburgh. It is time to ask them how they thought Shedeur Sanders would play. It's coming up at 8:01 on The Fan.
Been watching the Weather Channel a lot on my 85-inch TV,
Yes,
furnished
you
by
have.
Extend Technologies.
Yes, you have.
And they're saying, "Oh, could be some snow
Here comes Jim
coming.
Cantore.
Could be some snow. Maybe in the snow belt. Could be 4 inches, 5 inches, 6 inches. Who knows? I don't have a ruler that big. Here's what I can tell you, though. If it snows 8 inches on February 8th, 2026, and that's the official measurement, 8 inches or more, how about any purchase of 2000?
at 9. We'll preview Ohio State, Michigan with the great Doug Maries. But right now, you hear the music. It's time to go around the AFC North. Week 13 already in the NFL. And our first stop is in Baltimore, as it always is. Bob Haney, 105.7 The Fan in Baltimore, who covers the Baltimore Ravens, who talks about the Baltimore Ravens on 105.7 The Fan in Baltimore, as my computer has frozen. And I do not know who the Baltimore Ravens are playing. Excuse me, they're playing tomorrow night at 8:20 p.m. I should have realized this. As right as it came out of my mouth, I did realize it, as they are hosting the Cincinnati Bengals tomorrow night on NBC Peacock. Bob, good morning to you. First off, is this where the dagger goes into the chest of Joe Flacco tomorrow night?
What thinks that it's going to be Joe Burrow tomorrow night?
Joe Burrow.
Flacco.
Doggone it, I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. My computer froze. I'm freaked out. People are walking in and out of the place. I lost my voice, Bob, and I don't even know which Joe's playing for the Bengals.
Well, it doesn't really matter. They can bring Ken Anderson out of retirement, and it's not going to help things. That being said, the Ravens offense has been pretty brutal here in the last 4 to 5 games. Coincidentally enough, as the defense, which was much maligned, has now gotten it together a little bit under Zach Gore. The Draymond Jones trade has been outstanding from Tennessee at the deadline, 30 quarterback hits plus in the last 3 games, but the offense has really hit the skids. The offensive line's dreadful. It's unacceptable. The tight end room, Andrews dropped a touchdown pass against the Jets last Sunday. Isaiah Likely in a contract year just cannot seem to get out of it. He hurt his foot in training camp and does not resemble the guy that we saw burst out the last couple of years. So the offense is up against it. The good news is Cincinnati's defense is even worse than the Ravens' offensive line. But Joe Burrow has worn out the Ravens over the years. 21 touchdowns, 5 picks. He threw 9 touchdown passes against the Ravens last year. They lost both games because their defense stinks. So this could be the get-right game for the Ravens offense, even though Burrow and Jamar Chase have made the Ravens miserable, even when they had real good defense.
Well, there have been several radio show hosts around the country who have espoused that maybe Lamar Jackson has lost a step, including the Anthony Lima from 92.3 The Fan in Cleveland. He hosts the morning show there in the morning.
Bob, his longest run this year is 19.
Normally, well, I was going to ask Bob if he's dealing with the toe injury and the knee injury and if that's bothering him, but if you just want to say Lamar Jackson's getting old all of a sudden.
Last year, Bob, 48 yards. 2 years earlier, 79, then 50, 47. What is going on with Lamar Jackson?
I'm going to go right now with injuries. And he is 28, which, I would, pay to do 1,000 times over. But he's had the hamstring, which cost him 2 games, the knee, which cost him practice on a Wednesday 2 weeks ago, the ankle last week, and then the toe. And he said yesterday to the media it was the injury suffered in the first quarter against the Jets. So I'll go towards injuries. He's been sacked more times this year already, missing 2 games than he did all of last season. So that's a factor. Is he as fast as he was in 2019? Probably not, but I don't think he's lugging a piano just yet.
What did you think of Shedeur Sanders on Sunday for the Cleveland Browns?
He was acceptable. He won a game on the road. He didn't lose them the game, and I saw Judkins had the 2 TDs as well. Might as well roll with Shedeur Sanders. Why not? And I heard Stefanski during the waiting to get on here during the update said Brock Purdy's a great football player. He didn't look all that great the other night, but I roll with Shedeur. What's the Deshaun Watson situation, by the way? Are you going to see him this year?
Quarterbacks coach Deshaun Watson with the Cleveland Browns, the highest paid quarterbacks coach in the history of the league.
A hot candidate. Could be an OC soon.
Let him call the play.
Shedeur, let's do him. Let's roll with it. What else you got to lose?
It's just football games. I mean, well, I will tell you this, Bob. We were accused on Monday at the end of the show of drinking liquor and smoking cigars and playing golf with Kevin Stefanski. So we will make sure we tell Kevin about your comments later on today. We hope you and yours have a happy Thanksgiving. Bob Haney, 105.7 The Fan in Baltimore. We now go to the other side. Mo Egger, ESPN 1530 in Cleveland, as they get ready to take on the Baltimore Ravens on the road tomorrow night on NBC Peacock. Mo, Joe Burrow, if he starts tomorrow, does he start the rest of the year?
A great question. He shouldn't. He probably will. I don't think anybody should have any major issue with him playing tomorrow night. Mathematically, they're still alive, so they'll talk about there being a pathway to the AFC North title. when that pathway gets closed and they're playing in games that don't matter, I think it makes no sense to have your most prized investment play in those games. And especially, he's not 100%. If he were, I think he would have said, I'm 100%. He was asked yesterday if he is. He's not. And so I don't know why, with this season having gone awry, if you're playing down the stretch and the games don't matter at all, I have no idea why you put Joe Burrow out there.
Let me ask you that. How hot is the seat on Zach Taylor?
It's reasonably hot. It's the Bengals, and so they're famously patient, but it's hard for me to believe that a year after they swapped out the defensive coordinator, brought in a whole bunch of new position coaches, you combine that with the fact that Duke Tobin, the de facto general manager, is basically a baked-in member of the Brown family. It's hard for me to imagine that there's not going to be at least some consideration given to changing coaches. Look, they realize what they have in Joe Burrow. They have him under contract for 4 more years. They have failed to win a championship with him. Didn't make the postseason last year, despite the fact that he played at a very high level. They've wasted this year. That can't continue. And so I think his seat is hotter than many would have you believe, but it's the Bengals, and so you would be very unsurprised if they maintain the status quo.
Do your callers or you as a radio host or your colleagues, are there any hot names that you'd love to have or think you could actually get?
No. I mean, it's kind of a weird cycle. The name that people bring up, and they bring it up in a joking way, is Chris Shula, because his dad was Dave Shula, the worst head coach in the history of the franchise, one of the worst head coaches in the NFL. And so, you have people who go, look, it would be the most Bengals thing ever to hire the son of the guy who was, still 30 years later, a bit of a punchline. But beyond that, no, because I think most expect Zach to still be here. If the question is, are the Bengals going to make a change when it comes to anything, yes or no, the answer for most fans is usually no. And so it hasn't progressed to the point that anybody is talking about, coaches who make sense for this franchise. Heck, Marvin Lewis was here calling a game on Sunday, which I'm sure was absolutely electric. And you had people who were like, look, Marvin probably stopped by Mike Brown's office and interviewed for the job because it would be also one of the most Bengals things ever to just go ahead and bring back the guy that Zach Taylor replaced.
But he is the grandson of one of the best to ever do it. Maybe it skips a generation. Just throwing that out there, Mo Egger.
Like hair.
ESPN 50. Oh, what did you think of Shedeur Sanders on Sunday?
I thought he put forth a very representative Andy Dalton impersonation.
Oh, I'll take that. I will take that right now. Mo Egger, ESPN 1530 in Cincinnati, as they get ready to take on the Baltimore Ravens coming up tomorrow night. However, Chris Muller joins us, 93.7 The Fan in Pittsburgh, as they get ready to host the Buffalo Bills at Acrisure Stadium at 4:25 p.m. on Sunday. Things not good again with Mike Tomlin with the fan base, Chris.
No, they are not going well with the fan base, and Mike Tomlin can, because Mike Tomlin continues to run the most retrograde kind of way of coaching football that you could possibly imagine on both sides of the ball. If you'd like to point to Mike Tomlin, the defensive schemer, you can point to the guy who was leaving DJ Moore wide open for an easy touchdown for Caleb Williams. Perhaps you'd like to wonder about Mike Tomlin's propensity for coaching offense, which boils down to, if we don't turn the ball over, maybe we'll win the game. But the fans are very sick of it. It feels like it was an inflection point game. I don't really know why, because we've all watched this nonsense from them for years. But Mason Rudolph, I think, attempted one pass that technically could have qualified as middle of the field, and it happened to be a touchdown. But they are just an outrageously risk-averse franchise in every way. That stems from the head coach, and really it's been the case for a while. He started his presser on Tuesday, his one time he typically talks to the media. I know a lot of other coaches do it multiple times a week. He started by talking about praise for Cairo Santos kicking dirty balls on the kickoff, as in knuckleballs that were hard to handle, and then he focused on his own punter having a bad punt in the fourth quarter. Like, think about how backwards and how, 1986 your approach to football has to be if that's what your two takeaways are.
Man, you guys just hate him.
Yeah, but Chris, could it just be that he knows you don't have a quarterback that can actually help you contend for a Super Bowl again? And it seems like that's the deal every year with you guys.
I mean, but Tone, it's like chicken and a couple things I would say back to that. One, who has a massive hand in deciding who their quarterback's going to be? Who brought Aaron Rodgers here by his own admission, by Rodgers' admission? Who was a big part of the draft process that led to Kenny Pickett being the Steelers' first-round pick?
Sorry.
And yeah, no. I don't even remember. What's
well,
the
who
next
could you
that?
get? I guess I'm asking, Chris, like, you're annoyed that they don't just, draft one in the top, try to get into the top 10?
I'm annoyed that, I think that they always leave themselves unavailable for premium talent unless, like, a guy like Roethlisberger level ability drops to 11th the way he did, or unless they're willing to trade up. But, like, I also think that the chicken and the egg part is, I'm not saying Mason Rudolph's any great shakes. I don't think he is. I think he's an average NFL backup, which means he's a bad starter. But when you take away, almost by design, the middle of the field, and you barely admit that, there were some other things out there we could have done, we left out there, but everybody knows that you just choke off that point of the field because that's where turnovers can happen. I think you make quarterbacks worse. Like, I think I'm speaking for the majority of Pittsburgh. I don't know, maybe there's like 25% support. Like, if he were a politician, that's what he'd have. Most people just want to see Art Rooney get off his rear end, fire the head coach, bring in an offensive-minded head coach, and do things differently from now on. Like, people are just sick of it here, and also extremely sick of being told by people on the outside looking in that he'd be hired in a minute somewhere else, and you'll rue the day you fire him. They haven't won a playoff game in almost a decade. They're not a threat to win one now or probably for the next couple of years. What exactly are Steelers fans going to be so left without if they don't have Mike Tomlin anymore?
Well, you sound a lot like some of the Browns fans we talked to. Speaking of politics, Mason Rudolph, what do you think of him?
I just said it. I think he's an average, maybe an upper-end backup, but he's not a starting quarterback. And
do you think that Shedeur Sanders is better than Mason Rudolph?
No, Ken, because I've seen Kenny Pickett before, and Shedeur Sanders is just Kenny Pickett dressed up in somebody else's uniform. I've seen that game where Kenny Pickett makes one good throw, and Steelers fans fall all over themselves, telling themselves that he's the next guy, and then they don't notice that 75% of the rest of his yards, or his yards for the whole game, came on yards after the catch because he was throwing the ball right at the line of scrimmage. One good throw on the run does not a quarterback make.
Who's going to be quarterbacking your team next year?
Oh, my God, that's a horrifying question. Man, I really don't know because I think Rodgers is pretty obviously cooked, and everybody knows it.
Can I interest you in Kyler Murray?
Now.
Can I interest you in Anthony Richardson?
No. It has to be somebody that's like kind of ready-made if you actually want to contend. I want no part of the two guys you just mentioned. Tomlin doesn't really
Michael
like Rudolph.
Penix.
He doesn't believe in him.
Michael Penix.
No.
Mac Jones.
Wait, why are the Falcons giving up on Penix already? Because his knees constantly get injured?
I'm just asking you questions. That's all I'm asking.
McCorkle? No, no, none of these people. Like, Mac Jones sucks if he's not in Kyle Shanahan's offense. I don't have a good answer for you. I don't, because you need somebody who has
I don't know if that's true.
level ability.
I don't know if that's true.
Dylan
about
Gabriel.
Matt Jones. I don't know if that's true about Matt Jones.
Gabriel.
Third round draft pick. Top 100.
Yeah. Top 100 pick.
What the hell's up with that? What
beat
is
Ohio
going
State
on
last
there?
year.
I mean, I don't think Sanders is good.
Wait, he beat
I
him
think
the first
Gabriel's
time.
Probably worse. How many sacks is Myles Garrett going to set the sack record when they're playing the Steelers in a couple weeks? Or is he already going to have
that would be a spicy storyline, Chris.
You know what's the one takeaway from the last couple weeks I can give you? Even people like Pony, who have been obstinate to the point of absurdity, are now admitting what has been obvious for a couple of years to people like me, true ball knowers like me.
True.
Garrett is far superior to T.J. Watt.
When I go, you need to have Pony force him to do that as a reading at my funeral, okay? His tweet about Myles Garrett and T.J. Watt.
Chris,
Can I have him loosen the crowd up with a couple of laughs by having him do his Mason Rudolph will have a better career than Lamar Jackson tweet?
You should just read his tweets at my funeral.
I mean, it would be the longest. You're not Irish, are you?
I am Irish, but I'm not Catholic.
It would turn into like the longest Irish wake of all time. He'd be reading them like Chris Jericho's 1004 holds bit.
And that is Chris Muller, 93.7 The Fan. So wait a minute, real quick. So I'm just gonna mark you down. I'm just gonna mark you down for saying Shedeur Sanders is Kenny Pickett when I ask you how he did on Sunday.
Yes, I mean, don't get your hopes up, Browns fans. I should jump into your YouTube comments and lecture all those people.
You go to hell. They are fighting each other right now in the YouTube comments. By the way,
I'm a Steelers fan. I'm already there, Ken.
Oh yeah, it's so hard being a Steelers fan. So hard. Yeah, you got it so hard. Get out of here.
Drop kick.
Goodbye. Sugar hold.
German suplex.
Well, that's a move. That's not a hold.
Oh, that doesn't count?
Yeah. Like drop kick's a move. That's not a hold.
Mexican armbar.
Owen knows all of the holds.
It's just armbar.
Yeah. Well, if you do it in Mexico, I guess it would be in a Mexican armbar, right?
What if it's in Little Italy?
Then it's a little Italian armbar. A Buffalo armbar, a Canton armbar, a Gates Mills armbar. It's wherever you're having it. That's where the armbar is. Coming up at 9, Doug Maurice joins us on the show. You are a real true one right now.
I just want to say sunset flip, and you're denying me this opportunity.
Because that's a move. It's not a hold. Find holds. What's wrong with a young man having a little bit of confidence in himself? It's coming up in 5 on The Fan.
92.3 The Fan.
855, the letter U, the letter R, genius. See website for details.
Turkey or ham? Who the hell cares? Stuff your face and take in football Thanksgiving Day on The Fan, the radio home of the NFL in Cleveland. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
O'clock, Doug Lesmerises is going to join us on the show. What's the matter with Shedeur having a little bit of confidence in himself?
Nothing at all. Who could possibly have an issue with that?
This is what I don't like. Guys, you either like him and accept him for what he is. Don't pick and choose. All right? I don't like some of the conversation I'm hearing. And I've kind of made you out to be the bad guy here and there over some things. Now, there's some things you've said that I've just flat out disagreed with when it's come to Shedeur Sanders.
And that's why it's a good show. Good back and forth. Good debate.
But honestly, I think that you kind of take him for what he is, and you either like the package or you don't like the package. Because there's a lot of things, like people saw the CBS post-game or the pregame, or, you haven't seen anybody like me, and that was off of 1 week of practice. Guys, this isn't Brian Bosworth out there. I just think that this is 2025. And he's a quarterback, for crying out loud. He's going to have some confidence in himself. He has to have confidence in himself, even to the degree of unrealistic confidence in himself. You have to.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a challenge to the team's coaches to harness that confidence and use it, but to also help him play within the system. So, like, when I hear, like, Jim Rome, I'm like, hey, you either like the entire package or you either like the entire package or I think you're saying some things you really don't mean.
Normally, fifth-round picks on 3-8 teams do not usually talk that much, or at all. But then again, fifth-round picks on 3-8 teams generally are not the son of Deion Sanders. So I understand why this is a unique situation and a unique player, but let's maybe do a little more than just beat up on the pathetic Raiders before we start telling everybody how great we are and how legendary we are, and just give me a whole season of reps and then check back with me. The defense had nearly as many sacks as you completed passes, dude. So maybe we chill with the me stuff. And on some level, I get it. Like, I do want to see more. The Raiders are bum ass. They're a total disaster. Beating them doesn't really prove anything, no matter how badly some of you want it to prove that you were right once and for all.
That's Jim Rome on the Jim Rome Show on X. You're either with the entire package or you're not. And I think that there's a lot of us, we take calls. I've accused a lot of people of living in the online world here recently because he does have fans that are completely devoid of reality. We all have fans. Every team and a lot of athletes do have a section of fans that are completely devoid of reality. But if I allow that to fester and linger in my head, then I'm going to start saying things about the player that isn't true. Legendary, hashtag is part of his brand. He has people that are around him that are business partners. He has people that are around him that do media. You're allowed to have that in 2025. Quarterbacks have that in college.
World has changed.
We're seeing something that's different now when it comes to college quarterbacking. I understand who his father is, obviously, but I do think that there are people who are looking at it where you also forgot that he also said in the postgame that he could have been better, and that this is a step forward for him. We missed that. So you see some of the stuff on CBS in the postgame with him and Tiffany Blackman where he's like, yeah, that was right after that. But he also talks about how he can be better. He also talks about taking those next steps. He also talks about being a good teammate. He also talks about his teammates' support. But when we pay attention to what's right there in one snippet, and then we see all the people going against what the NFL has said, I think it annoys us as radio show hosts. Because if you break it down one by one, like I asked our biggest rivals, guys who are opinionists, Bob Haney, Mo Egger, Chris Muller, they all, the thing about Kenny Pickett, Muller was the meanest. Mo Egger, Andy Dalton, you could say that's mean. Andy Dalton's had a long career in the NFL. Bob Haney said that he was passable, solid, that's what it was. And that's what he was. Passable, solid. When you have 3 days of practice, you're going to be passable and solid. And I think a lot of people looked at it and go, okay, where's the building blocks after this? Same thing I said, but I didn't think he was terrible. Nobody could say he was terrible. I think a lot of people were expecting terrible. I raised my hand. I thought that this was going to be a setup disaster from the offense. Not that they were setting him up for failure, but that they weren't going to be able to execute, then he wouldn't be able to execute, and that he would be running for his life. I thought that this would still be a failure. I know the Raiders are terrible, but they're still pros, and you've still lost to a terrible football team because you're 3-8. So give credit where it's due for what they were able to accomplish together. You're not out of the woods by any means. In fact, you're just going into them. But I don't like putting words in his mouth, putting an attitude on his face that isn't there. I don't see it.
But there's no doubt.
I might have Browns blinders on. If the haters want to go out and call me out for that, fine.
No.
But I have not seen that, and you're not disagreeing with me.
There's no doubt he is different, right? Like, we can't deny that he has a different way about him, which is what I think makes him so unique. It's why I think he has the fan base that he has. You know, there are more... Look, him growing up with Deion as his dad... And also growing up with a lot of money, a lot of these other quarterbacks came up with nothing. That's going to change the way guys come off, and it's got to be up to Shedeur, right, to make sure that he is approachable with his teammates. And I haven't really seen that as an issue, in college or the NFL. I know there was the story Albert Breer was sharing that he would come to the games by himself and not with the team. That is a little weird. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it seemed like his teammates resented him in any way in Colorado.
I think some of these guys who become really famous when they're very young have some like child star syndrome where they maybe don't fully understand like how they come off. So for example, there were all those rumors, I'm sure you guys remember from Colorado, where he was going to games separate from the team, right? Or like there were all these different things about like all this different stuff that was going on. And I'm not sure Shedeur ever knew like he was doing something wrong. I think he just kind of like that's been the life that he's lived because of who he is. And so I think sometimes with some of these guys, there can be a little bit of a lack of self-awareness, and that came off in the pre-draft process. And I don't think any of it is evil or dark or anything like that. But I can just tell you, from some of the people who dealt with him, he just had an air about him that he'd arrived. And again, like, I don't even know that that's his fault. Like, I just think that there's like a little bit of that. I'm the son of one of the most famous football players ever to put a pair of cleats on. And I've grown up in this environment where I've always been the biggest name and I've always been the show, and like carries himself that way. I think sometimes there's a little bit of like, are you even aware of the way that you're coming off?
That's Albert Breer on Afternoon Drive. I think the NFL, though, has a way of naturally humbling anybody if you think he needs to be humbled. How can I say he's been humbled? I don't know what Jacksonville State was before he got there, or excuse me, Jackson State was before he got there. I imagine they weren't that great because they had to hire his father as head coach. So you raise the profile of Jackson State. Then you raise the profile of one of the most moribund programs in major college football. It was arguably the worst program in P4 college football. At that time, P5, because you still had the Pac-12. Like, we have to understand, he has had success at each of these levels. Now, people look at the overall record and go, again, they were a 1-11 football team before Travis Hunter, his father, got there. He's made an impact at every level. So there's two places that he's gone that has immediately raised the level of success and raised the profile of those places. The NFL is a different level of competition. And I think where it started to set in for him was the game against Baltimore, where he sat there on the bench after the game, where Rex Ryan ripped him for it. But I think it sat in going, this is going to be a lot harder than even you would ever realize. The NFL has that way of doing it. I don't need to humble him. You don't need to humble, and you're not calling for it. I don't think we need to humble him, guys. That's my problem.
Him being fourth string, Kenny. Fourth string.
But I don't even
that
think
had to be humiliating.
But
for
I don't
him.
even think that's the humbling part. I think the humbling part is probably to come against better football teams, against the NFL, against teams that get you on tape, and then you'll have to answer to that.
But
and if he rises up over that, then we're going to have ourselves a franchise quarterback on
He
our
was going to
hands.
be a top 5 pick. Everybody around him was telling him top 5 pick. He goes to the 5th round. Then he's the 4th string for one of the worst teams in football. Like, that had to humble him to some extent.
That's true.
And here he is. Look.
But also,
he's
you
got
can
the
say,
opportunity.
Also, you can say, I'm going to go in and I'm going to prove people wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And based on that, you're going to believe that you are doing that.
And that's what they all say nowadays. And look, the one thing that Albert Breer should also recognize is things have drastically changed. Like, child star or not, all these quarterbacks right now in college football at the major schools, they're all making 7 figures. Like, it's pretty crazy. They're all going to come into the league now with an air about them that is different from what, these quarterbacks from yesteryear came into the league.
Doug Maurice, 9 o'clock, coming up in 5. I can't believe you guys call me a hater, and I have to talk you guys into this. That's at 8:43 on the Fan. Oh, Northeast Ohio.
Or stream live on Odyssey, iHeart, or TuneIn. Listen for Earl to Pearl and Nick Padone, Friday from 8 till noon.
And then Anthony Allant and Mac Robinson from noon till 2:30.
As we take you up to the Black Friday matchup between the Bears and Eagles, your home of the NFL and Westwood One in Cleveland. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
The Buckeyes are built different, but are they built for this? Take it away. What were you going to say? Doug Maurice, 9 o'clock.
Saturday's weather forecast in Ann Arbor, 30 degrees and an 80% chance of snow. Now, that was yesterday. Brandon Koretz, who looks like he's a meteorologist of some sort, whatever. We'll see if that changes. We'll see if that changes, obviously, as we get closer to the game. But it's going to be cold. Like, that's one thing we know. We don't know about the weather or what storm front could be coming in. Is it an Arctic Clipper? Is it a
nor'easter?
A nor'easterner. Does that happen in the
Alexa.
Midwest? A nor-Midwesterner. Not sure. But either way,
Alberta Clipper.
Look, anybody that denies that weather hasn't played a part in this, also the trenches, but Michigan's built differently than Ohio State has been, obviously, in recent years. But I know weather has been an equalizer and is seen as something that's impactful because what do Michigan fans want? They want it to be cold. They want it to be snowy. What do Ohio State fans want? They want 75 and sunny. So don't tell me that weather is not a factor.
I mean, weather is a bit of a factor, but then how do you explain? What are you trying to say that? All right, are you trying to give an excuse for losing? Then
not at all.
Then why are you bringing up the weather? And then you're saying Ohio State fans want 75 and sunny, and Michigan fans want it sloppy.
Think it's not an excuse. It's a factor. Like it's something that will play a part in the game and has
number one team in the country.
And right. Then they won the national championship last year, and it wasn't exactly 75 out when they played.
I don't think the weather was that bad. Wasn't it sunny out when they lost?
It wasn't terrible, but it definitely was not. Look at what people are wearing in the stands. They're wearing winter coats.
Well, it's late November in Ohio. I don't expect it to be balmy, but it wasn't it was terrible weather outside.
So you don't think weather has any factor? It sounds like you don't think it has.
I don't think it has that much of a factor to do with it because I think it's the same thing. I think the majority of your players come from Ohio, but then there's also players from all over the country.
But they're built differently. Why is it that Ohio State fans want it to be warm and Michigan fans want it to be cold and snowy?
Well, obviously
they're all fooled into believing weather's a factor.
You do have. Hold on for a second. You start this fast talking because I got you on the defense finally. First off, I'll speak very clearly and slowly and concisely. Is you have better athletes than them, right? Okay. Second, you should be built differently and better than them, no matter what the weather is. If you have better talent,
see, I actually think they're not.
If you played better. So you're telling me so if they lose to Michigan, you're going to blame it on the snow?
No, that's not what I said.
Then what did you say? Say something that I can hold you accountable for.
I think this is going to be the huge difference. This is my big takeaway. I think this is a huge difference between the NFL playoffs and the college football playoffs, which we're just learning about, is in the NFL, even if you're a dome team, you have to be built to be able to go potentially on the road and win some games in terrible January weather, which is what happens no matter where you are playing games in the NFL, unless you're going down to Miami. And when's the last time they've had a home playoff game, right? Maybe Tampa. How many home playoff games have they had? And they've had good teams. So almost every team at some point has had to go on the road to do that or at home in bad weather. This is not going to be the case in college football. Your playoff route, you might get one home campus home game. But Ohio State, if they just win out, or even if they lose in the Big Ten championship, they will have good weather for all three of their games. It will not be a factor. So the weather being a factor for this rivalry game, and we've all established last year, the rivalry game is not the end all anymore. You can lose this rivalry game and still be able to go on a playoff run and win the national championship.
Yeah, but I'm not going to use weather as a reason.
But you don't think NFL teams build their teams so that they can perform? What has been Miami's huge weakness?
I think they go for the best talent. Which one? The Dolphins?
The Dolphins. What have they said?
Didn't they go to overtime or close to overtime with Skylar Thompson against the Bills in Buffalo last year or 2 years ago? I thought they did.
So you're telling me Miami doesn't care if it's bad weather in the playoffs?
I think they would rather it not be a thing. But again, I'm going
to ask somebody down there because that's all they've been complaining about.
I have to bring up this card. What do you make of then last year in the playoffs when Will Howard was making fun of Tennessee for coming out with their shirts off and then immediately putting their parkas back on? Were they built for bad weather then?
Well, I think
does
Tennessee,
it change year to year?
I think you weren't playing a Big Ten team. You were playing a team down in the South that's not used to those weather conditions.
So then by what you say, the Miami
that's
Hurricanes... That's
not Michigan. That's not Notre Dame.
Then don't even put the Hurricanes in the college football playoff because they're easily going to get smashed if they have to go anywhere that's cool weather.
That's one game also. It's not a playoff run. It's not 3 more games that are going to be in the Rose Bowl or in the Dome in Mercedes-Benz. Like, I don't see how you don't see the difference between what I'm stating, which is the NFL playoff, you got to go on the road multiple times or stay at home in cold weather multiple times. That will never be the case in the college football playoff.
I understand what you're saying.
You will have beautiful... Look at the grass.
You're looking
at
him because I think you're realizing that what you're pointing out here is silly.
I'm just surprised you don't see the obvious difference.
I think that every football team wants the best track that they could possibly be on, and they want the fastest players. But I don't think that they're building a team of an abominable snowmen so they can go out there and play in cold weather.
Hold on. There's a clear difference between how Ohio State is built and Michigan over the last 5 years. One team throws the football down the field. The other likes to run the ball and run the ball and run the ball. This is Ryan Day's team, by the way, is different.
We didn't draft Quinshon Judkins in the second round, and Trevion Henderson with a few picks afterwards.
They could run the ball, but their offense with Marvin Harrison, Jackson Smith and Jigma, Emeka Egbuka, Marvin Harrison, Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate. They have the best receivers in the country. They don't just run screens.
But they were like that because they recruited the best players.
They don't exactly call the same plays that Michigan does.
But they recruited the best players.
You do know these are different styles, right?
But Anthony, if the best players in the country were all running backs, then it would just be 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
No, the
best players in the country were wide receivers, and they got the wide receivers because they're great recruiters. That's what Ohio State does.
You don't think Michigan recruits differently than Ohio State? You think they just all recruit the same players?
I don't think that...
You think Notre Dame recruits all the same players as Ohio State?
I don't think that they can get the same caliber as often as Ohio State, so they do what they have to do in terms of being able to conduct an offense. They cannot get the same caliber of player for the most part. They do get some great players, obviously, but they can't get the same caliber of player consistently that Ohio State does, so they build their offenses the way they can so they can go out and win football games.
I think there's been a clear difference in the recruiting and the way that Ryan Day runs the offense compared to Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer did have, even though they did it out of the shotgun, they were power running. Ryan Day loves the pass, and he loves to go vertical, and it is a much different approach than what we had, especially when they had Chip Kelly last year. Are you kidding me?
Did they get Bryce Underwood up at Michigan just so they can hand the ball off? I mean, eventually they want to go vertical.
I think they would like to go vertical. He's a freshman.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But it wasn't like they. I think everybody wants to go vertical and have a vertical threat. That's what I'm saying. I think that this is one of the most off-base arguments you've ever given me. So it sounds like a giant excuse for losing to Michigan. You don't even play the game for a few more days.
You didn't think there's a big difference between the way Jim Harbaugh, tough, physical, trenches, and Ryan Day, throwing, vertical, route trees, combination, flood concept, different concepts.
Was there a difference when Ohio State was putting up 62 points against them with Urban Meyer?
Finishing my thought. That NFL team started to covet some of the passing formulas that he had been introducing. Like, there is a big difference. I don't know how you're not seeing that Michigan plays one way and Ohio State plays it different. And what I'm saying is Ohio State can play their way in the playoffs. They might not be able to play their way against Michigan, as is evidenced by they've lost 4 straight and they've had a massive talent edge. And the weather's been terrible.
I think it's a terrible excuse you're trying to make right now.
I didn't make
to
an
lose
excuse.
to Michigan in a game that I'm picking Ohio State to win in.
I did not make an excuse. What was the excuse?
You're giving me weather as being the big end-all, be-all factor against losing. I don't need to say anything.
Factor.
You said it all.
I said it's a factor. I didn't say
so.
Ohio
If they lose to
underdogs in this game
so
because
if they
of the
lose to Michigan, you're going to come in here on Monday, and we never get a chance to do it because who knows what's going to happen on Sunday.
Is it 50-mile-an-hour winds and you can't throw the ball more than 4 yards down the field? Yeah, then probably I will use weather as an excuse because that's not how they're built.
Okay. All right.
So you're right.
The best team in the country with one of the biggest NIL war chests aren't built to win in bad weather.
But then I'd still pick us to win the national championship over Michigan. Two different ways. That's the beauty of college football now, and that's how it's different from the NFL, and that's my point.
Okie dokie. You can be, you do that all you want. Doug A. Maurice, the Bill and Doug Show, as well as Bill and Doug on Ohio State Football on Substack. He joins us. I want you to throw this by Doug and see what he says coming up in 5 on the Fan. Classic Auto Group.
20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Sundays do not exist without us.
Shador on third down, throws it. Sampson to the flat. Sampson 35. Sampson 40. Sampson, first down. He's at the Raiders 35. It's a foot race and he's gone. Dylan Sampson, touchdown.
This is the radio home of the Cleveland Browns. 92.3 The Fan.
It ain't gonna work with me. You and Real Xavier P. You guys, social media reactions there, Tone. You're not going to get me worked into a shoot. I got you into a shoot, and I ain't going to go the other way.
Talking about the ones brought to you by Scheibman Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. You can't just say
Thank you very much.
Reaction.
You did.
Thank you very
definitely
much.
got me worked.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
I just can't imagine.
I mean,
but
definitely
Xavier
wrong.
P. But no, I know
you
I'm
got me
right.
worked up.
I think it's one of the silliest points you ever made, considering that Will Howard. And I pray they bring this up on the afternoon show, please, guys. I'm begging you, because this is one of the dumbest things you've ever said. Is that Will Howard 2 weeks later goes out there and says, yeah, they came out with their shirts off in Tennessee, then immediately put them back on, and they made a big deal about how they were more built for the weather. And now you're going, I don't know, it gets snowy and cold. It just sounds like you're making an excuse. And you and Xavier P's talking about leaving the grass long. I can't.
Which Notre Dame famously did.
And then they lost.
Sure, but it might have helped them. It sent you a whole article about it. Charlie Weiss said,
I don't need to read it.
Do not mow the grass. I got the article.
Charlie Weiss, you mean famous Notre Dame failure said that? Because that's failure.
Super Bowl champion Charlie Weiss?
Super Bowl assistant coach, because I think the head coach, Bill Belichick, would look at this and go, wait a minute, we're gonna prepare all week. We got these players. They're going to fight their asses off and get ready for this thing all week. And I have to give credit then to the grounds crew instead of my players.
I just can't believe a football guy.
The grounds crew can do a good job.
I am stunned. A football guy doesn't understand
because it's football, and that's a dumb thing to say.
That weather impacts football games.
Weather does impact football games,
and that's why Michigan fans are praying for the weather to be bad, and Ohio State fans are praying for it to be 75 and sunny.
If you're that much better, and you don't, if you're that much better, and you're that much more prepared, and you're that much smarter, no, bad weather ain't gonna get you.
So I think it has been an equalizer in this rivalry the last 5 years.
I remember that great Browns win in 30 below weather against the New Orleans Saints at Play in a Dome. Oh, wait, they lost. And we were mad at Kevin Stefanski for throwing the ball 87,000 times. Doug Lesmerises joins us right now. The Bill and Doug Show. Bill and Doug on Ohio State football on Substack. Did you hear any of this before we brought you on?
Feels like my parents are fighting. Don't do this.
No, I'm going to continue to do it.
To each other.
It sounds like
what fun is that?
It sounds like my parents fighting, and then my Cocker Spaniel used to sit in my bed with me, and I used to pet Jake and go, "It's going to be all right. This is going to work out. This is all going to be all right." Doug Lesmerises bringing up childhood trauma here on the Fan on a morning right before Thanksgiving. Well, do you believe that? So Lima, just I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it basically sounds like Lima's already coming up with an excuse for Ohio State to lose to Michigan on Saturday.
My whole point, Doug, was that this is how the college football playoff is so vastly different from the NFL. In the NFL, you have to build a team that can win independent of the weather. In college football, I don't know that you do. I think the fact that you have a playoff format where if you have a bye, you're just going to have beautiful weather the whole time. So you can have a vertical passing game that is not as reliant as, running the ball between the tackles and all that stuff. And I do think weather has been a bit of an equalizer for Michigan over the last 4 years.
So I think two things here. I often have thought with Ohio State that, and Ryan Day's agreed with this, that if in the 4-team area kind of maybe had one team for the regular season and another for the playoff, because the issue was you had to get there, right? So if you were only a vertical passing game that was waiting for indoors and beautiful weather, there was a chance that one loss could trip you up and you wouldn't even have a chance to experience that, right? But now with the 12-team playoff, you don't have to be perfect and you have more room for error. And so I think your point of maybe if you just plan for that, that makes a little more sense. But here's the thing I think is different about this year for Ohio State. I think the weather has a chance to be very similar to 2021 when it was snowing in Ann Arbor, and like that's what the projection is. But what won that game in 2021 was the best defense, was Aiden Hutchinson and David Ojabo and a dominant defense. And the team that has that this year is Ohio State. And so I think the thing that is different about this, we're going to talk about the run game and that kind of thing a lot with the weather. I think a great defense in the weather can really matter. And Ohio State has not had the best defense in this game the past couple of years, and they definitely have it this year, and so I think the weather is less of a factor in this game.
Is Doug Lamery's joining us on the show? Is Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith going to play on Saturday?
I don't know. Jeremiah Smith, it feels like what he said, the way Ryan Day's talking about it, my guess is I am anticipating that Jeremiah Smith will play, but I'm not sure about Carnell Tate. And we're not going to know for sure until Saturday, and I wouldn't be surprised if part of it is they're questionable and you try to go through warm-ups. But my guess only, Smith yes, Tate maybe.
Well, how does that impact, this game? Because obviously, like you just said, now we have a lengthy playoff run. So part of you thinks, hey, this game isn't the end all anymore. You are already in the playoffs no matter what. Granted, your bye is no longer guaranteed if you lose this game, so it still is a huge game. But you don't also want guys re-aggravating injuries or getting worse when you have so much football left to play if they're realistically going to try to go back-to-back. So what do you do if you're Ryan Day?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can't, they're not going to play it super safe and just be like, well, it doesn't really matter. Everything's still out there. It's the Michigan game. So that really matters. So they want their guys there. So I don't think we are in an area yet, and I hope we never get there. I don't think we will, where you're not that worried about the Michigan game and you're only thinking about the playoff run, and so you're being, overly cautious with stuff. But of course, you are right, and if it's a soft tissue injury, which I think it is for Carnell Tate, the longer you wait, if you guarantee that you have less of a chance of re-aggravating something, and now you're going to have Carnell Tate for the playoff run for a semifinal or something down the line. And if he doesn't play against Michigan or doesn't play in the Big Ten championship game, he could end up having 2 months off before a playoff game, right? And that could really help you heal. So, of course it's a factor because it's not the only thing anymore, but I don't think we're in the let's just be super careful and just shut these guys down. And if it means we have a lesser chance of winning the Michigan game, that's okay. I don't think we're there, but of course it's part of the equation.
When you have Julian Sayin out there, and if he's out there without Jeremiah Smith and without Carnell Tate, it's not the end-all be-all here, Doug, but we had a quote-unquote Heisman moment with Fernando Mendoza, and I like Fernando Mendoza, fair enough, but I'm going, well, wait a minute. Okay, you're on the road in a stadium full of over 100,000 people. Unlike Penn State, this is not a team that's on the mat with a fired head coach and a zombie coaching staff. And you're out there with no Carnell Tate, no Jeremiah Smith, so now we can't just say you're a product of them. Could this end up being Julian Sayin's Heisman moment, or do we just have to wait till the Big Ten championship game?
I mean, it could be. I mean, I have it's not impossible. I have a hard time thinking that the Heisman winner is going to come from the losing team in the Big Ten championship game. It's not impossible, but I still think that's going to be a huge part of the discussion. But also, I just think it's, and Ohio State's not going to be in the Big Ten championship game if they don't beat Michigan. So I think it's really hard for an Ohio State player in this era to lose to Michigan and win the Heisman because, C.J. Stroud was a Heisman favorite in 21 and played well and put up good stats against Michigan, but lost, and that was it. So I don't know. Sayin's numbers and the way the offense has looked the past 2 weeks with no Tate and half a Smith, and last week neither of them, he hasn't dominated. He hasn't been throwing the ball all over the place. So I think that certainly has influenced the Heisman conversation around him, but I still feel like it's probably going to come down to championship weekend. But if they don't play or they're limited and Ohio State wins, but he throws for 111 yards or something, that's going to make it harder. But I still think the Big Ten championship game will be the determining factor.
And I would agree, but I'm just trying to use people's words against him because like Fernando Mendoza, people have said, well, Kurt Cignetti, he's just a product of his quarterback. Fernando Mendoza, he's carrying Indiana. Okay, by the way, tell me what coach probably isn't a product of his quarterback who's up there winning it at an obscenely high level and winning championships and things of that nature. But then I look at Julian Sayin, and I've had to admit if I were going to go best overall football player, I might put him 5th behind Caleb Downs, Orville Reese, Jeremiah Smith, and Carnell Tate. Okay, without Smith and Tate, now I have an argument. So say like you get those guys back and you just beat Indiana 24-17 and it's just a whatever game, or 24-10 and it's just a whatever game. I'd look back on it and go, all right, we can look at Fernando Mendoza putting his team on his shoulders, and that's why you want to make him a Heisman Trophy winner. But I would look at it and go, well, you didn't have Carnell Tate, you didn't have Jeremiah Smith. Look what he did without those guys. So you can't just say the offense was on autopilot and that was it.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked about the guy. I think Jeremiah Smith's like 200-1 right now on the Heisman odds. If Jeremiah Smith is back for Michigan and is back for the Big Ten championship game, and the passing game looks reactivated, and people think, oh, wait, it really is Jeremiah Smith that makes this go more than the quarterback. I think Jeremiah Smith could win the Heisman. So, like, this absence, if there's a return and now they look different all of a sudden, I was telling people, you know, I'm a voter. I'm not putting any money on it. But if you have $3 on your app and you want to put up some money on Jeremiah Smith before the Michigan game, might not be a bad idea.
Has Ryan Day seemed any different this year for this week? I know Dan Wetzel has floated out that he thought maybe Ryan Day has almost cared too much about the rivalry, in stark contrast to John Cooper, and that's why they almost press during these games against Michigan. I don't know if any of that's true, but I do know it has been very weird that they've lost 4 times in a row with the superior team almost every single one of those years. So does Ryan Day seem any different this week, Doug?
Yes, he does. Talking to people, some people around him, they think he's much different than last year, not as tight. He certainly publicly is talking about it differently. I think he gained confidence from the national championship and the playoff run and the way they went about their business there. And so I think he's maybe finally at the point with the national championship ring on his finger, even though he's lost 4 in a row. Maybe he's at the point where he's going about this and talking about it and preparing his players his way. And I think he's shed probably entirely any of the Urban Meyer remnants of things that if he thought this was the way you're supposed to go about it. And I think he's kind of treating this as the first game of the playoffs. And last year they won 4 straight games and won the college football playoffs. So, like, they know how to win that game. So if you think about Michigan as a playoff game, all right, we know how to win playoff games. It doesn't diminish they're our rival. We don't like them. They don't like us. The fans really care about this. But I think they want to lean into that because they know that worked. So if you go back and listen to his news conferences and things like that the past, every other year before this, he was saying stuff that's like it's life and death. This is what, this is the only thing. He was saying more stuff like that, and he's not saying stuff like that as much this year. He's not saying it's just another game, but he's not leaning into the all or nothing aspect as much. And so I do think in a variety of ways he's different, and I think it gives him a better chance, but like nobody cares how you talk. If you win, your ideas worked. If you lose, you went about it the wrong way.
Doug, obviously, we're in a different world these days with as much money as all the players are making. And because there's so much more football left, and maybe this also kind of goes back to the question about whether Carnell Tate is going to play or Jeremiah Smith, who he's not even draft eligible. But these guys are worth so much money already, and they're finally getting to take advantage of that, at least openly. Are you getting any sense that the world of college football could be changing and agents could be maybe nudging their players to maybe make different decisions when they have an injury on the line like this?
I mean, I think it's already happening, right? I mean, just the fact that they have the agents, that they have those other people that they can and do consult with and are looking out for their interests first, as opposed to in the past, they didn't typically have those people to even have discussions with. So, yeah, I mean, it's already changed. It's already changed. Now, the thing that I don't have, the idea of, so they're getting paid now. They're getting NIL money. They're getting revenue share money directly from the team. So it's like you're being paid to play. So like if you decide that like I'm just gonna sit out, I don't know how that affects like, hey, like you're being paid to do a thing. Like you're supposed to play this game, and it's not NFL money, but it's a lot of money, right? So I don't think we're in the area of like guys sitting out for no reason, but certainly all the conversations have changed from what it used to be in the past, when basically, you know, the trainer said, could you play or not? And your coach yelled at you and said, we need you. You got to play. And then you played, right? So, yeah, it's changed, and I think it will continue to change. But the more that payment and if we get more to like contract type of stuff eventually with college football players, that will also help solve part of this discussion, because it's like, well, you know, you're paid to play. So if you're healthy, you're going to play. And if you're not healthy, you're not.
The great Doug Maurice. Find him on Substack. Bill and Doug on Ohio State football. The Bill and Doug Show on YouTube. Doug, thank you so much for the time, my friend. All the very best to you and yours.
Happy Thanksgiving, fellas. Thanks for having me.
Same to you. Doug Maurice on the Fan Hotline. All right, I want to dive into that because it's got to be a different Ryan Day. Do you try to change too much? Has the pendulum gone from one side to the other? And it's not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear about the future, the near future of the Cleveland Browns. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima here on the Fan. KC Roofing got one family coming on over underneath one roof. It's fantastic. And then all of a sudden you feel the drip, 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 or the air going through your home. You go, oh no, I got a hole in my roof. Don't worry.
the show's creators, performers, and writers, the celebrity guests. Be sure to follow and listen to Simpsons Declassified wherever you get your podcasts.
Miss one day and you miss a lot. We are the radio home of the Cleveland Browns.
Here we go, Brownies! Here we go!
92.3 The Fan.
They play on natural grass, Keith, because they actually help farmers. That's what Iowa State does. Yeah, we're on the air. You want to get me going before the segment and get me off track? There you go, boss. Boss got me off track. I love how the Michigan fan doesn't want to give his team credit for winning games against Ohio State. Kenny, if you think the weather doesn't affect them, you're crazy. Weather has an effect on everything. That's why it's the weather. That's why we plan for it. That's why people watch the weather. That's what keeps the lights on in TV stations, is the weather.
That's why Byron
we
Allen
all pay
bought the
attention
Weather
to weather.
Channel.
Weather matters. But I cannot imagine being a head coach. Could you imagine Kevin Stefanski going up there? He probably has, and I don't even want to say. Could you imagine, for all the guys who hate him already, going up there? Just really got to thank that nor'easter coming in here. Got to thank that lake effect snow coming in here and winning this game for us, guys. We did no preparation whatsoever to get ready for this game. We just let the lake effect snow come in and take care of Brock Purdy. Stupid. And for like the Michigan fan to come in here, whose team's won 4 in a row now. Oh, if you don't think weather has a factor, you're stupid. No, it has a factor, but good God, you're gonna give that credit for the win? Stop. Get in reality. Live in reality. Good God. By the way, I got to tell you guys about this. Surfside Cavs Report brought to you by the fine folks at Surfside. Please drink responsibly. When do I take the gloves off about Evan Mobley? I'm waiting until the first of the year. Same guy's having problems with Evan Mobley and thinks I'm pussyfooting around the situation and I should be ripping Evan Mobley.
I have to say, our boss, I don't know if he was ripping us or ripping Evan Mobley.
Probably a little bit of both.
But
he likes to rip us.
He basically said our Cavs analysis after each and every game has been just simplified to, has Evan Mobley made the leap or not? He hasn't. This is a problem.
It's been year 5. I mean, we are in year 5.
I know, but we should be getting more out of these games than just that. So I feel like, are we failing Cavs fans by not breaking down the games in other ways and talking about Donovan Mitchell's amazing performances?
But we've seen Donovan Mitchell's amazing performances. So what do I say other than, wow, how great was Donovan Mitchell's performance? And I think if I do that, I think a lot of people are going, yeah, Ken, we know Donovan's great. We need everybody else to start picking their game up too if we're going to be able to get to the Eastern Conference Finals and then maybe to the NBA Finals. So that's, if I just sit here and do 216-474 to below 92, how great is Donovan Mitchell?
Yeah, that doesn't really.
A lot of people will agree.
Stimulate a lot of conversation.
And then they will turn right around and ask that question I just asked you.
So there's no doubt to me that Evan Mobley, now some of his numbers have actually gone up, but he's taking more shots. So a lot of these things, and I think the usage has gone up. So yeah, his accounting stats all look a little better, but no way indicative of him making some big leap. Even Kenny Atkinson admitted the other night, he said specifically, Evan didn't bring the juice, didn't have the juice on that night. And I think they have actually, in doing what we wanted them to do, which was empower Evan Mobley to be in position where he could make a leap by putting the ball in his hands, letting him make decisions, letting him attempt to take over possessions. I think it's actually, in some ways, maybe we'll get the benefit out of this come playoff time, but I actually think it's only confused him. And I think now it's making him more hesitant, and it is kind of eroded some of his confidence.
That is a Surfside Cavs Report brought to you by the fine folks at Surfside. While it tastes wonderful, the fine folks at Surfside tell you to please drink responsibly. No bubbles in there, no carbonation.
No.
So it's nice and smooth if you want it to be just smooth. Mary Kay spoke yesterday to the guys in the midday, and she said there might be a different feeling in the facility now this week.
People just keep wanting to read something into the Kevin Stefanski, Shedeur Sanders relationship that is not there. It's just not true. It's complete fiction. I mean, the things that people should be paying attention to are all the extra time the Browns have taken to develop Shedeur Sanders and all the one-on-one time Kevin Stefanski has spent in his office going over his tape from the day before. That's not something that Kevin was ever going to tell us. Myles Garrett revealed that. and then we got it out of Kevin. But he's not going to sit there and pat himself on the back for what a great job he's been doing with Shedeur Sanders. First of all, it's a group effort. It's Tommy Reese. It's Bill Musgrave. It's Kevin. It's Deshaun helping him out in the room. It's a lot of different things that, that are going on. And Kevin is never going to toot his own horn in that regard. But rest assured, they've been working very, very hard with Shedeur to get him to this point.
So I think that, and I've disagreed with several things that Mary Kay has said to us. Now, we don't get the chance to talk to her this week. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. We won't be here. We hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. However, while we don't get the chance to talk to Mary Kay this week, we all know that there's been things we've disagreed with and agreed with Mary Kay on. It's been a really wild roller coaster this season when we've had Mary Kay on our show. She says that to after our midday show yesterday. I see her point. I tend to agree with her on that because I don't think, see, this is where I think a lot of people have been exposed, and I do. I think that there are a lot of people. We've played more audio of other people's shows about Shedeur than we ever have, and I hate it because I don't want to just be the other show's review show. I don't like doing that, but I want to try to hold people accountable because I think there are people there who are basically they're just trying to get their name out there, and so they're going to tell people what they want to hear on either side of the issue.
Yeah.
Shedeur is and I don't think any of it really is his own doing. He's one of the most polarizing figures in sports. And being here as a Browns fan, it's annoying. It's very annoying to hear. I think some people have flip-flopped. I think some people have said some things that they don't believe. I think some people have been completely disingenuous about this. Here's what the matter is.
Isn't that kind of what Tebow Mania is all about?
Yes,
when it's compared to Tebow Mania?
Yes.
That doesn't mean he's going to be as bad as Tim Tebow.
No,
Nobody's saying that.
But you immediately have to couch that because there are definitely people who use it for their own gain to their own devices. But I don't believe what they say based on what they've said in the past. I don't believe that. And this is what you have to figure out as a Browns fan. What you're going to hear and what you're going to believe are maybe two different things here. Because this is the issue. And you don't want to hear this. And it's not comfortable to tell you this, but this is the truth. And we shared this earlier in the show. You can go back and hear this 92.3 The Fan on the free Odyssey app. You need to ask yourself, what do you want more? Do you want Shedeur to be the long-term starter, or do you want Kevin gone? Which one do you want more? Because Shedeur stays a long-term starter, how?
By playing well.
By playing well. And then because if he plays well, because the defense is so good, if Shedeur plays well and the defense is good,
they'll probably win games.
They'll probably win games. So that means who stays?
Kevin Stefanski.
There you go. So you need to figure out what you want in your heart more. The people who have drawn swords on the Shedeur argument and have decided to have the war online. Do you want Shedeur as a long-term starter, or do you want Kevin gone more? Because the only way you really get Kevin gone is that if Shedeur goes out there and he struggles and he looks bad, because the offense would look bad, and then you would get to a point where only 3 wins again. We can't do this again.
And they draft another quarterback.
Because that's how that goes. Yeah. Now, you could say, good, I want Shedeur out of here. He'll get his crack anywhere else. I don't know. There was 5 drafts, and plenty of NFL insiders are telling you that there's not a great chance of that happening. So that's the reality. I know a lot of us have suspended reality here over the last several months. That's the reality you have to live in. And you could say he's been cut away from it or blackballed all you want, but the reality is his best chance to be a starter and prove people wrong is right here in Cleveland, Ohio, playing for this team. So you can shout conspiracy all you want, and they can dislike. If you really believe that Kevin dislikes him, then fine. Then Kevin has to know that your best chance to stay with this football team as the head coach of this football team, to be a head coach in this league, is through Shedeur Sanders. You may not like each other, but you need each other. If they really don't like each other, or Kevin doesn't like Shedeur, which I don't believe. See, I have to couch it. Because if you let go of Kevin, it probably means you're letting go of Andrew. If you're letting go of Andrew, probably means you're letting go of Kevin. Either way, from what I just said about the NFL and how they feel about him, you're going to get new people in here, and they're going to wash their hands of this. That's how this is going to go. And you don't even disagree because you know that's the truth. It don't make me feel good telling you guys news you don't want to hear the day before Thanksgiving because it seems none of you like it, but you need to ask yourself, do you want to finally fix this problem and get rid of that jersey of 42 names and stop having them bring. I loved how CBS decided to do the mental. That's when I was really pissed off during that broadcast when they decided to go back to 1994 and bring up the 45 presidents and go, guys, you don't need to work that hard. We might get the 45 presidents and then you can do that. 42, you can say 42 is a lot. 42 is a lot. I'm sure there's a lot of things that you have in common with 42. Call Gary the numbers guy up. I'm sure he could figure out 42 for CBS. That was ridiculous. That to me was asinine. As a Browns fan, obviously I'm sensitive to it. But you need to ask yourself, are you tired of the number 42 being brought up for quarterbacks and looking in the desert for quarterbacks? Or do you want Kevin Stefanski gone that bad? You ain't going to get it both ways. It's an either or. So I would rather have Shedeur be the long-term starter and not have to worry about drafts for a while and have Kevin Stefanski as the head coach. You may get to a point where Shedeur's a legitimate NFL starter in this league, and you may get 4 years down the road and go, boy, it's been 10 years now for Kevin. We've reached this level. We can't get over this level. Kevin may need to go. They deal with it in Cincinnati. They've been dealing with it for damn near a decade over in Pittsburgh. We might have to talk about that issue at some point. But if this thing goes, the defense is too damn good. If he plays well, you're going to win games. That means he stays. That means Kevin stays employed by the Cleveland Browns. 216-474-0092. I don't think there's any way you could prove that wrong. You can go ahead and try on the Fan.
Anthony Lima for Fanatics Sportsbook, where
to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
DayQuil Intense Flu, the daytime coughing, aching fever under your flu medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
When you want the latest on the Browns, we're the station you turn to first. 92.3 The Fan is Cleveland's home for breaking sports news. Your teams, your station.
Two 474-0092. Welcome back to the radio show. It's good to talk to everybody.
For a few more minutes.
Hey, guys, I want to bring this up. Oh, you don't know about this yet, do you? Guys, we're going to fight about Shador here in a minute because that's what we do here in Cleveland now. It's like when the sun comes up, that's when we fight. When the sun goes down, that's when we stop. Lima's family are doing the pictures with the family pajamas on.
Oh, my God.
They're doing the family pajama pic.
She got them, and they weren't as bad as I was expecting.
Oh, my ass. My fat ass.
I put them on immediately.
That's
and I'm
what you say to yourself when you have to deal with something like that.
I put them on, and I'm like, all right, I'm ready for this humiliation. Let's go.
Were you also trying to wrangle two children who will not want to be there in that instance?
No,
I am so...
Yeah, you got to put yourself through the paces.
That's true.
Today we say things that we're thankful for because we won't say them tomorrow because we're off. And I got to tell you, man, thank God for my wife. And I intend on being with her forever. You never know how it works out, but I'm going to tell you how it is right now. No group pajamas, no pumpkin patch pictures, no apple picking, none of that crap. I don't got to do none of it. It doesn't come to her mind, and I could not be more thankful. I'm telling you, Owen,
you guys
I'm
have
beyond
family
blessed.
pictures, right?
Yeah, we haven't had them in a couple years, but we've had them.
I really wanted them for the first time. We went to Florida during spring break, and I'm like, we got to do it because the girls were graduating high school. So I wanted to do it then. But the family PJs and the matching thing, my wife and I have a set of matching pajama pants that I will wear on Christmas morning only.
Okay.
When I get out of bed, I will put them on. I will walk to the tree after I've made coffee. The kids will open up presents, and as soon as the presents are done, I am back to the room, and it's back to gym shorts.
That's it.
You get your hour or however long it takes.
I think part of it, Kenny, honestly, not to get too real for a moment here, but I think I had been deprived of a lot of family things that now we make fun of when we see it, and that cookie cutter life that sometimes people put on full display on social media, especially. I never had those moments.
Matching wire strippers?
Where's this copper from? I don't know. It's interesting. Where'd this catalytic converter come from? Why are we storing all these? We only have one car. Anyway, I had a very checkered past as part of the childhood.
You're not going to stop making them jokes when he gets older and he's old enough to realize, right?
No.
Okay.
Come on. It wasn't that long ago.
They need to know about the family history.
We were playing this out of realness. And now I got a family.
For now.
Now we have matching PJs.
For now.
The ghost of Lima future looking through the window.
Now, if I keep drinking all this bourbon before the show, we'll see how long that continues.
Your last name's still Lima. You'll come back down there.
There was a cup game last night. I had to watch. My wife's like, it's a 40-point blowout. Why are you staying up to watch this?
Wait a minute. You were watching other Cup games?
It was on Peacock last night.
Can I admit to you, I thought you were going to make fun of me. I think I've watched more college basketball than you this year.
You have.
I watched Notre Dame Rutgers yesterday, and then I sat there. Guys, I do not gamble on sports, and I sat there and watched the Fort Myers tip-off between Michigan State and East Carolina with no money on the line. Absolutely $0. You can go ahead. You can check Venmo. You can check my history. I do not gamble on sports. And I sat there and watched both. I'm going, Micah Shrewsbury. Whoa,
oh, yeah.
The Shrewsberries taste like Shrewsberries. And I still kept watching.
It doesn't matter.
Rutgers and Notre Dame. Notre Dame won by 6.
Was it at the Rack?
And I did not finish the Michigan State game, but they were up by 30 at one point. You've heard of East Carolina. Vince McMahon went to East Carolina.
That's not why I've heard of them.
But you've heard of the Philadelphia 76ers.
I've never heard of them.
In a vaunted cup game. Anyway, we had Matt Corrali
You've heard of Cup.
He gave us the update. Matt, would you like to read your research? He did a research paper.
Lima, I would love to. Just let me fire it up here real quick.
Well, first of all,
going great so far.
This is going wonderful.
Summer stock
hold on,
mostly.
Matt. I said summer stock. Matt, I let people know because we were in a heated conversation. I said, Matt, please have Cup stuff ready for us, like what the Cavs have to do. And then you didn't answer, and I said, please acknowledge that you have read this and are up to the task. Because it's the Cup. So, Matt, take it away.
All right, so
let the
Friday
music
night
hit first. Let the music
Sorry.
Oh, we got a whole intro here.
All right.
Don't talk.
Shut up.
Acknowledge that you're up to the task.
I am up to the task.
Not yet, Matt.
Not yet.
Sorry.
Only we can talk over the music.
Yeah.
I'm directing this orchestra.
All right, go ahead, Matt.
I'm up to the task. All right.
Quiet. Let the effing thing
Let the
play.
music finish.
Completely ruined this experience.
He's ruined it.
David Stern is rolling in his grave right now, choking on water.
Go ahead, Matt. Take it away.
Not
yet.
Die choking on water.
The music is still
somebody
going.
needs a bottle of David Stern's water to start this. Mo Egger, ESPN 1530.
What was that?
Mo Egger, ESPN 1530. What was Mo
Matt,
doing?
are you going to talk or
Yeah.
what are you doing, Matt?
Oh, here we go.
This is your segment.
Here we go.
Go.
Cup. Friday night. Atlanta. Cavs need to beat the Hawks, and they need to run up the score because they lost to those Raptors up north of the border. They're 2-1. 2-1.
Play some Mo Egger.
Cup
Mo Egger, ESPN 1530.
Matt, let's go.
Did you know they have...
Mo Egger, ESPN 1530.
That was the definition of guttural.
What was Mo doing? What was Mo doing?
I mean, we all know.
ESPN 1530.
We all know
Before
what
we
he's
move
doing.
on, what was Mo doing?
You can't say one of them.
Number 3.
We really can't say two
Number
of them.
3 was number 2.
Okay, number 1 and number 2 I can't say. Number 3, he got his finger caught in the door jam after he got done doing number 1 or number 2. Mo Egger, ESPN 1530.
Is that a stub toe getting up from doing
Oh, that's a good call.
number 1 or number 2?
Matt, are you going to do the update?
Yeah, Matt, come on, let's go. Cup update.
We are
Cup
looking for a
update.
cup update. A cup date.
Now we got to restart the music.
Yeah. Here's your cup date with Matt Corrali. When the music ends.
You go.
Right.
Speak.
Plus 33
Music
point
has not
differential.
stopped yet.
Apologies.
Kid doesn't get it.
You know, we're just going to have to scrap it.
Shoot. Darn.
He's doggone it to heck.
Son of a gun.
And we're out of time.
Oh, let Matt do his thing. Mo Egger, ESPN 1530.
It's going to be better. I know that I have the flavor.
Well, once you hear
in a
Shep Dog.
sweater. I'm sitting here.
That's it.
You know, it's over.
When you hear
That's your
Shep
cue.
Dog, it's your ass.
He was so good against skating that he
All right, big thanks to Matt. He's 22 years old. He's getting engaged.
I know that
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Ho. 23.
Oh, 23 is getting engaged.
Major difference.
It's a wonderful life. What a great decision he's made.
Wow. What would Mo Egger say about that?
Mo Egger, ESPN 1530.
Jordan Love with the Packers is the real deal. All I know
Here's your
is
future. Enjoy your family pajamas, Matt Corrali.
Thank you, Ken.
Big thanks to everybody who joined us today. Big thanks to Matt taking care of us.
But that's okay.
For Owen.
On to my next endeavor.
For Mitch, who isn't here.
Shout out to the Zach Gallo.
And accidentally copy and pasted the wrong read on the Mr. Hero.
Yeah, they don't have chicken dipped in cinnamon and sugar. That's not a thing.
You gotta order them special. Get on over there with Mr. Hero.
Matt, acknowledge that you've heard this.
For the Slippery Wizard, Anthony Lima, I'm Ken Carman. Have a wonderful day. Hey. Happy Thanksgiving.
Sounds good.
Where's your entourage now?
Cool, I got on the last show.
Mo Egger, ESPN 1530.
Loser town, loser fans, and you guys are a loser show.
Mo Egger, ESPN 1530. Mo Egger, ESPN 15. Mo Egger, ESPN 15. Mo Egger, ESPN 1530.
This is Boomer Esiason with an Odyssey Sports Minute.